All right, we are going live. Uh-oh, we got people. We got peoples. Oy. Let's get comfortable. We've got peoples. All right. Let's go. Where are we going? I don't know. Where are you going? How's the audio? I'm pretty far away from the microphone. Good? Bad? Alrighty. 50-50. Audio is good. Coin hunting Drew. Alrighty. Oh yeah, I think this is my first live stream on a Saturday. So there might actually be some people in here. 50 people. 55 people in the first minute. So yeah, maybe more than usual because I'm doing this on a Saturday. Alrighty. I have absolutely zero plan for this live stream. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to wing it. Oh man, there's so many people in here right away chatting. 59 people. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump in and keep looking at some of the comments until I figure out where the heck I want to take this live stream. All right. Coin Intelligence says smash that like button. Please do. That would be awesome. So I'm sure most of the people that just came in here right away have already watched the video I posted today, because I posted one earlier today just in case anyone didn't get the notification. I did a cash hunting search. I just repeated myself. All right. Hey, JD, good look. I had today and found a $60 lottery ticket someone tossed in the trash. Nice. Always pays to check. Cointelligence, JD, I'm at 999 subs. If anybody else is in the chat listening, he's only got 3 more to go to 1,000. So that'd be awesome if he can hit it while we're running my live stream. I know what it's like to hit 1,000. It's a huge milestone. So early congrats. You might get there tonight. You might get there in the next few minutes. Hopefully. All right. 66 people in the house. Coin hunting Drew, getting over mono, not sticking around log. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I've never had that, but I've heard that it's really nasty. Yeah, not fun. Tammy Prince, what are we going to be talking about? I don't really have a plan, so we'll just see where the discussion goes. I'm going to just start taking suggestions for topics or specific questions. Let's maybe start with topics. That way we have a direction, because regardless of what happens when I do these live streams, I get asked like a million questions about metal detecting usually. So, I mean, I'm okay with answering those questions, but maybe we can find a more interesting topic to talk about tonight. Maybe. We will see. I just wanted to get on here and say hi to everyone. It's been a little while since I did a live stream. I haven't been posting a whole lot of videos lately. It's been really hot here, and I'm resting from metal detecting. So we'll just see how everything goes. We're going to a chiropractor, and I also started weightlifting again. So I'm trying not to overdo it with my detecting arm while I'm trying to strengthen my muscles, because what happens is, if you do what I do and your muscles get really depleted and you get really weak from not doing a lot of strength exercises, and you metal detect a lot, so like you're metal detecting a lot, and it really puts strain on your body. So I think by finally getting back into my weightlifting routine, that it's going to really help out with this, with all the stress got going on. So I'm really excited about that. The chiropractor I've been working with in my new area, he works with Olympic athletes, and I haven't been going very long, and I've been able to get some results and relief with what I have going on. So I'm pretty excited right now. So I'm taking it one step at a time with the weightlifting. I did the first session with that yesterday with weightlifting at the gym, taking it easy and making sure I did the right sets of exercises I needed to do. And I feel awesome today. So I'm excited to think that I can get back in shape and do some weightlifting. So happy about that. So yeah, the metal detecting, it's hot out anyway. So I just kind of put it on the back burner while I want to get everything else going in better shape. Sunday lunchtime here in NZ. Awesome. 8:27 p.m. here, Eastern Standard Time. What's your favorite thing about collecting? I really don't know. I guess more so, probably more so the uniqueness of the items you collect. Like if you have something unique, just I guess the fact that there's only one of them and nobody else has it. Most items that you can collect, you can find things that are unique to that specific item that nobody else has. So you can kind of put a story to it. And sometimes it's just based on your senses. You like the way it looks and stuff like that. But yeah, I just like to collect. I'm like a raven. I like shiny objects. Shiny objects. History Hunter said, do you magnet fish? On occasion, I have magnets, and I did a few videos in 2017 on it. If you go in my back in my library, but I haven't done it a lot recently. Mostly because I haven't found any really good areas to do it. The best place I found was just all old railroad materials, and it was a kind of a popular fishing area. So all I would ever find was railroad connectors, railroad spikes, and fishing lures. That's all I literally ever found. That and just random bits of iron. So I just haven't really found anywhere around here that's really decent for magnet fishing. But I keep my eye out. I mean, I keep a magnet in my trunk for when I travel. So if I ever stumble across a spot that I think would be decent to test for magnet fishing, I'll definitely pull it out and make a video of it. Absolutely. I like to do treasure hunting of all kinds. Any type of real treasure hunting when you don't know what you can find. Like I'm not really into stuff like geocaching, just because it's stuff that was deliberately, put there and you know what you're looking for. I like any type of treasure hunting where you're finding the unexpected. Unexpected meaning something that it was buried or lost a long time ago and nobody knows it's there. So something like that. Let's see. Wash PA Digger said, do you believe in evolution? No, I don't believe in evolution. I believe in adaptation, obviously. They're kind of just, there's obviously some very close correlations between evolution and adaptation. But no, I don't believe in evolution as it pertains to the origin of existence. I went to a D-Day reenactment today, which is located on I don't know how to pronounce that. Kano, Ohio. Really amazing, and it was very loud. I assume it was loud. I don't really like loud noises. I remember one time I was at what do they call them? Some kind of aviation show, and one of the planes flew over like really low to the point where it was so loud that if you felt like if you wouldn't have plugged your ears, like it would have done some sort of damage, like you could feel it inside your head. So I don't know if that was planned. It seemed like way too loud for my comfort. And I remember that was with my parents when I was probably only like 12 years old or so. And we had one of our dogs with us. And when the planes went over, it was so loud. I don't know if it did any damage to the hearing of our dog, but our dog started like yipping and whimpering, like it just like really hurt the dog's brain like badly. I've never seen anything like it before. That was the loudest thing I ever heard, and I was not a fan of that. I don't like loud stuff, so you won't see me riding a Harley Davidson and making a lot of noise, stuff like that. You won't see me doing that. I'm just not a big fan of loud noises. Frustrating to me. It's like, keep it down. I'll be that old guy with my white hair and my cane. I'll be like, shut up. So, all right, let's see. Do you metal detect abandoned houses? I metal detect abandoned houses if I have permission and they're on public, or it's really rare to find abandoned houses on public property, but only if they're on private property that I have permission to be on. Then hunting around abandoned houses is my absolute favorite places to look. I just don't do houses that are abandoned because 99% of the time the property is not actually abandoned. It's privately owned by someone, but the house is abandoned. So you can get into major issues with the law if you go on private property and start taking things. So I don't do that. I did a few times way in the past, like many, many years ago, but I stopped doing that because I probably did it like twice, but I came to realize that I wasn't 100% certain that the property I was on wasn't abandoned. And in most cases, like I said, the property is still owned by someone. They just don't do anything with the house. All righty. All right, let's try to get catched up here. We got a lot going on. Hey, JD, hope your finger is better. I don't know, man. Okay, so like you're not going to be able to. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can tell. It's still bent. On the top here, it's like still sore to like push down on it. It's not as bad as it was. So I don't know. I may have to get it checked out. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but I think it was more than just getting it like bent back and like partially dislocated, because I've never had a finger with pain like that's like a week after the fact now, like over a week. So I have no idea. I've just been kind of putting it off. So I don't know if you can just jam a finger really bad to the point where it just hurts for like more than a week and it doesn't straighten out right away. I don't know, but I still can't like curl it in like I can with this hand. Like I can curl that in, and this pinky, I can't bend it in more than that. So I'm not sure. All right. Hey, Sheila. Sheila sent a $20 super chat. You've got to be up there. Yeah, you were the second person. I knew you were up there. You're the second person ever to do a super chat. So appreciate it. And the comment is, you're my favorite YouTuber. Or you're going to make me blush. Don't tell me that. Can't stay long, have to go. All right. Well, I appreciate you popping in, and I'm glad you enjoy the videos. All right. Appreciate it. Too bad you can't stay a little bit longer. I know I did this spontaneously, and I always tell people I'll try to let everyone know in advance when I'm doing one, but it's just spontaneous. It's like whenever I can fit it in, I just try to do the live stream. So here we are. I broke my right wrist twice. I've never broke my left wrist though. Okay, I actually have a story. Okay, I've never broken a wrist, but on my right arm, this tendon right here, okay, right down in through here. I was bowling when I wasn't a kid. I was in my early 20s. So I used to do this all the time. I used to bowl in a league, and when you were just trying to goof off and have fun, you would do this thing where you would put your middle finger and your index finger in the tip of the bowling ball, and you wouldn't put your thumb in to put a massive amount of spin on the bowling ball, and you would stand I'm right-handed, so I would stand on the very left side of the lane and throw it out to the right in the gutter and let it like curve back in. And I did that one time and I put so much torque on my two fingers on, on this, whatever it would have been, 14-pound bowling ball. That's what I had, 14 pounds. I put so much torque on it that it literally just tore my tendon. Or I don't, I mean, let's say it majorly hyperextended it. I had to get it treated for a long time. And it took me actually till about 2 years ago, probably about 2 to 3 years ago, when it finally stopped like hurting at times, which was crazy because it was like 5 years to heal from it. It was so crazy. And even today, like if I try to lift up something that's super heavy underhand, I can feel the weakness right here because obviously it's never going to heal back to full capacity or whatever you would want to call it. So that's the story of my wrist and how I screwed it up bowling. And that was around the time, that was the same year, the winter of this. It was almost a year after I had started metal detecting. So you can imagine how annoying that was on my right arm. It gave me a lot of problems. And what a terrible time to do it when you're just really getting serious into metal detecting and you like hyperextend a tendon in your wrist to the point where it was so bad, like I couldn't hold anything underhand for the first several days. It was so weak. Like I remember I was picking up a pizza that was ordered, and I went in to just lift the pizza up off the counter, and I picked it up with my right hand because I'm right-handed, and I literally almost dropped the pizza on the floor because as soon as I like lifted it up, my wrist just gave out. That's how crazy it was. All right, so let's see. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get to everyone's questions. They're just coming in pretty fast. So I'll just keep picking them out as I go. So if I miss stuff you say, just keep throwing stuff out there. The way I have this set up, I can't put slow chat on because I do the live streams through my camera. So there's no way for me to put slow chat on. So I just got to do the best that I can. But we got 81 people in here. All right. Hello from Salem, Oregon. Any plans to come out west? Not in the recent, not in the near future. Yeah, probably not. Be heading more northeast if I go anywhere. And I have some plans to go a few different places in Virginia. So probably won't make it out to the West Coast in quite a long time. It's just not on my radar right now. Okay. Time to go to the doctor for your finger. I know. I'm putting it off. I think I need to. I don't know. I'm hoping I don't need surgery on my finger. I hope not. But at least it's my left pinky. It's like the finger I use the least. So it doesn't affect metal detecting or anything like that. So sort of looks broken. Yeah, I don't, I mean, it's definitely swollen on top and bent. So I mean, yeah, it could be. Somebody commented on the video that I mentioned it and said it could have been, I think what they call it, a lacerated tendon. Never had that happen before, so I'm not sure. And I honestly don't even know which one's worse because I know that sometimes breaks heal more cleanly, whereas like issues with tendons, like I said about my wrist, can be really, really bad. So I'm not sure. Chicken or beef? I mean, I like them both, man. But it's hard to beat a good steak. I mean, you can only do so much with chicken. But you can get pretty creative. Man, I like them both. I like chicken and beef. That's actually the two meats that I eat the most. I'll eat fish. I'm not a huge fan of it. And I'll eat turkey, but I'm not crazy about it. So yeah, like chicken and beef, I'm down. I'm down. They're tied. They're both good. All right. Donald Walker, what's the best economical detector in your opinion? You'd have to define a little bit more what economic means. Like, I'm assuming you're meaning cheap as possible. It's hard to say. It depends on what type of metal detecting you do. I mean, you can use an $80 metal detector and find stuff. But if you mean more so as like a hobby type thing and you want to have more performance, better discrimination, a lot of different things, personally, my favorite budget detector are some of the low-end Fishers. I like the Fisher F22, but I think the Fisher F4 is mine. I'm not sure if it's a little bit cheaper. It's also a good one. Those are the ones that I like for budget detectors. I mean, I still have an F44. I mean, they're like, I don't know, like $350 brand new, but the F22 is a lot cheaper. It's just they're weatherproof and a few different things, which kind of makes it a little bit more. But I mean, they're pretty good for the price, and you can get a used one like an F22 or an F4. I mean, you can get used ones for like under $200, and they'll do the job. You'll be able to find coins and relics with them. Now, depends on which model you get. Like some of them have a bigger coil and some of them are a little bit smaller. So unless you have like I think the main one's 9 inches. So unless you have the 9-inch coil, you won't go like super deep. But if you get a low-end Fisher detector and you have a nice 9-inch coil on it, I mean, you'll find a lot of stuff with it, no doubt. If you're looking somewhere where there's stuff, obviously. Anthony EA, you're the one that got me into coin hunting. Well, cool. I'm glad I could have introduced you to the great hobby of coin hunting. When do you unwrap all those coins? How do you return them? Now, I'm a little bit spoiled with that. I used to bank at a bank where First Tennessee, actually, where you could they have these big clear plastic bags and you just put all your coins in them and they ship them off to the main office to be counted and deposited into your account. So I just dump them in the bags, seal them up, and they go off to the bank account. Now, I don't have accounts with them anymore, but there are locations around where I live, and my dad still has an account with them. So I kind of, when I do coin roll hunts, I fill up a huge bag and I make my dad deposit them into his account, and then I just have him give me the money for them. So I really don't do a whole lot of coin roll hunting, but I like to do $50 once in a while. I'll do nickels like I did in the last video, but I haven't done it in a while. But when I do, I'll hit it hard and I'll do a bunch of boxes in a row. I really need to get some $50. I'm itching to find some silver $50 in the rolls. The last several boxes I did, the Brinks boxes have been very, very, very meager. So I've waited a long time, so maybe we'll give it another shot here soon. JD, do you like heavy metal? No, I do not like heavy metal. Let's see. What state do you live in? I live in Tennessee. I've lived in Tennessee for like the last 5 years. Prior to that, I grew up in Pennsylvania. JD, how many seated Liberty coins do you think you've driven by over the years? It's actually funny that you mentioned that, because I always think about like just even walking. Like you're walking, it could be a parking lot, could be anywhere. You're like wondering like, how much stuff are we walking on top of and just have absolutely no idea whatsoever? Just the amount of stuff that's in the ground. Like I've always wondered that. I mean, I'm one metal detectorist, and in about 7 years, I found over 35,000 coins. I'm one person. How many coins are buried under the ground? I mean, it's mind-blowing how much stuff has been lost over the years and thrown away, discarded, but just the coins alone, it's just mind-blowing. What do you do with the scrap iron and junk you put in your pouch? Okay, if it's like literally scrap iron, like I save horseshoes and different cool iron bits. So like if it's like trash, like just a bit of iron or a nail or something like that are not interesting, I usually just put my aluminum and my iron in the trash, but I save brass copper, and lead for scrapping. And here's the interesting thing. We may have to do a video on this eventually. I did one scrapping video in like 2014 where I just took some random buckets of brass and copper I had and I cashed it in. And I got like 15 bucks. It wasn't a whole lot. But since then, I have not gotten rid of any of the brass or copper. It's literally all sitting in my garage. Buckets of brass and copper. Now, for most of the years, I was a coin shooter predominantly and didn't hunt a lot of relic-y type places. So for metal detecting, for the last 4 years I've saved brass and copper. I probably don't have as much as you think I would. But now that I've been doing a lot more relic hunting and around big old spacious houses and things where you find a lot more random metal bits, and I'm digging all the big signals and just anything I can get out of the ground, I'm finding a lot more scrap metal than I used to in the past because I'm not just focused on finding old coins. So I'll have to do a video in the future. But the thing I'm man, what is the word I'm looking for? Not looking forward to is I haven't sorted it properly over the years. It all generally gets thrown in one bin. So I have like bins that are randomly mixed lead, brass, and copper, and with some random stuff mixed in that isn't, and some of like relic bits mixed in too. So going through all of it is going to be an extremely strenuous task. And it's one of those things, I don't know when I'll get to it. But I got to have at least several $100s worth of brass, copper, and lead just sitting around. Yeah, I have quite a bit of it. Okay. Let's see. Have you found any musket balls? Yeah, I found some musket balls. I have hunted Civil War locations before, and specifically, I've had the amazing opportunity to metal detect around some houses that were built in the early 1860s or just before the Civil War or a little bit prior to the Civil War, and I found some musket balls. I wouldn't say a whole lot of them. The video I did only about a month ago, when I was in the middle of the woods hiking up to a waterfall, I found a musket ball in the middle of the woods on a path up to there, which is a great find for the area that I found it in. But more than the musket balls, I found a lot more of the mini balls, which are the more standard Civil War type bullets. I've hit a few awesome locations where I found quite a few handfuls of those old lead bullets. And I have found a few musket balls mixed in, but I probably found about 10 of them in my 7 years of metal detecting. I'm not primarily a Civil War hunter or look in areas where you find that type of thing. But yeah, definitely found some musket balls. Treasure hunting Southwest PA said I probably have 100 pounds of brass and copper. Yep, I'm right up there with you. My buckets are getting heavy. I've got a lot of brass and copper. I like finding the huge pieces of, like the old spigots and the massive pieces of old brass. I mean, man, it's funny with metal detecting. Old coins you find generally aren't worth a whole lot of money. Some days, what you find in brass and copper is worth more than anything else you find. I mean, I find some silver dimes and some wheat pennies and maybe some jewelry, and your pile of brass is still worth more than everything. It's kind of funny. We got Plug Master Ford in the house. Most IHPs are a couple bucks in dug condition. 1870s coins are higher. Yeah. Well, I mean, all the common Indian head pennies in dug condition are worth less than $1. I mean, you're probably talking 50 to 75 cents if you're fortunate, if they're corroded. But yeah, just depends on the soil and if you have a rare date or not. But yeah, I have found one Indian head from the 1870s, but I'd love to be somewhere older where you can find a lot more rare coins. Tennessee's pretty limited for the stuff that's earlier from the late 1800s. Kind of most of the hunting I've done most of it, not all of it obviously, but most of the hunting I've done over the last 7 years, most of it does not predate like the 1880s. So I don't find a lot of that super old stuff, but I've been getting in some of the older spots over the last year when I do some traveling. I mean, found that Civil War spur earlier this year, and I got some colonial relics. I got some pretty good colonial stuff last year. I mean, a silver colonial cufflink. That thing was amazing. And some other stuff. Got me a King George halfpenny, the King George II from the 1700s. So I've been doing pretty decent, kind of branching out since I've moved slightly further northeast, a little bit further northeast from where I used to live in Knoxville. So what are some valuable barber dimes? You want the 1894S. I think they made 24 of them. That thing's worth those things are worth like 6 digits. You can get a nice little you can take off work for like 5 years or something. If you find one. Did a video on those. But probably the most probable rare barber dime you could find is an 1895 New Orleans mint, which is an O mint mark. The 1895 O are very rare, worth several $100s. And I've heard of people finding the metal detecting. So they're not impossible to find. 1895 O is probably the most rare realistic barber dime you can find. And depending on condition, wouldn't be uncommon for it to go for $500 even in dug condition. All right, so we got Brad from Green Mountain Metal Detecting. How's it going? Man, your last video was awesome. I mean, that was so sweet seeing you pull that out of the ground. I mean, I was excited for you. I mean, an 8 real. I mean, that's the big one. That's like as big as they get. That was amazing. I'm really happy for you. Really am. That was sweet. I was just looking at it and I'm like, oh man, it's been down there so long that it didn't like even look silver when you pulled it out, but you could just tell. I mean, that was awesome. I don't know what I would have done if I would have found that. I mean, that is so far up on my bucket list. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Oh, it's History Hunter said I found a fake one. Let's see, what coin were you talking about? The funny thing, when I found my fake 1878 trade dollar, that had me going for a good 5 to 10 minutes until I realized when I started cleaning it off that it had these tiny little green bubbles on it. And man, it was one of those Chinese fakes that didn't even have the word copy on it. So it was like a legit coin that they were trying to scam people with. It wasn't just like one of the sort of collector's counterfeits, which are legal if they have the word copy on them. But I never really thought about it. That 1878 trade dollar I have that doesn't have the word copy on the back, coins like that are actually illegal to own. Not like anybody's ever going to get hauled off to jail for having one. Not really, unless you have like a like a house full of them, and you get raided, and somebody in the FBI thinks you're counterfeiting them or something. So if you have a few of them sitting around, I wouldn't worry about it. But they are technically illegal to own if they don't have the word copy stamped on them and they're fake. So I just figured I'd throw that out there. All right. Sheila said, did you get your car fixed? Man, everything kind of happened at one time. So I think I figured out what happened with it. My belts were real squeaky. So I think what happened is because my radiator was cracked too, and I got that fixed a while back. But I think what happened is I think my radiator was fine, but I think when one of my belts snapped, I think everything else overheated and caused the radiator to crack. So if I would have taken care of my belts a little bit earlier, maybe I wouldn't have had to get a new radiator. But I mean, it was like $170, so I've had worse happen. But then after that, just everything started happening. I had to get 2 new front rotors. I had to get the rear caliper replaced on my right side now because that was still rusted out from living up north. And from when my tire blew, the car is still shaking even after I got the rotors replaced. So I'm thinking one of my actual wheels is bent from when my tire blew while I was on the interstate. So, man, it's been like peeling back an onion getting my vehicle sorted out. And it's like one of those things like when you start, everything happens always within like the same couple months, and then I'll drive it for 2 years with nothing other than doing oil changes. But it's like I'm probably in over $1,000 now, so I'm not going to quit fixing it up now. That'd be kind of stupid to put like, I don't know, man, it'd be stupid to put like almost $1,500 into it over the last 4 months and just scrap it. It'd be kind of dumb. I mean, I could still sell it for probably $1,000 or something. It wouldn't go right to the junkyard. It's got to still be worth maybe $1,000 or $1,200 if I tried to sell it myself. But I figured out why it was vibrating so bad. It was just one of my motor mounts was bad. So one of my local garages fixed that for only like $150 or something, and it doesn't vibrate now, which makes traveling a lot nicer. I thought it was a problem with I thought it was a transmission issue with the Kias, because I know some of the older models have had issues with that sort of thing. But actually, since I started doing the repairs now, it's like in the best shape it's been over the last 5 years. So I'm hoping it's got at least another 40,000 miles in it, because when the transmission goes, I'm probably going to get rid of it. Okay, Jeffrey Feathers, keep up the great work. If ever in Elizabethton area, it would be neat to detect with you. Send me an email at jdsvarietychannel@gmail.com. I mean, I'm not too far away from you, so I can reply to you and let you know if I ever go out or anything. Generally, I don't. It's rare. It's really rare that I hunt public property anymore, because I'm not really a clad hunter, and anywhere around this area, I'm sure, as you know, it's extremely hard to find old coins in public property because it's been metal detected for several decades. Metal detecting has been extremely popular in the East Tennessee area, from what I can tell, going back to way back in the day. Let's just put it that way. The parks around here and the schools have been metal detected to oblivion. And I did decent when I first moved down to this area. I was like the last wave of metal detectorists to start going through and cleaning out a lot of the decent finds that were left in the parks. Like it was a good several years after the E-Tracks came out that people started going over the parks again and like reopening them up. So like you can see up north that when the technology really started to increase, people started finding amazing stuff in the parks. So the first like year I lived in Knoxville, I actually did really good in the public areas. Now I had to put a lot of work in and scouting all over the place and mapping them all out and driving all over the place, but I was still able to find stuff. But over the past couple of years, trying to metal detect parks and schools in Northeast Tennessee, my gosh, I mean, they're just beat. If you find one silver coin, it's a good day. And, you still may find a wheatie or two stray here and there because they just kind of end up everywhere. People lost wheat pennies all over the place back in the day. And anyway, yeah, send me jdsvarietychannel@gmail.com. Shoot me a message and we can chat. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found in Tennessee? That's without shadow of a doubt, my 1921 Standing Liberty quarter. It's worth about $140. And that was found it was found in Dandridge. So pretty cool to find it over there in Dandridge. That was the rarest coin ever found over there. One of the biggest lots left with a grassy area close to the historic downtown by a Civil War hospital. Didn't find any Civil War relics at that place though. So I guess there wasn't any firing maybe in that actual battle in that little section there. Must not have been. No drops, no fired Civil War stuff in that area. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it's funny. That 8 real coin is worth $30 to $50 in 2018 dollars. So that poor soul who lost it was having a bad day when they lost it. $30 to $50 in 2018? I don't know. That actually sounds low to me. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I thought that would even have been worth the equivalent of more back in the day. I mean, because we're talking 1700s in an 8 real, which is a huge chunk of silver. $30 to $50, maybe. I don't know. I guess that could be about right, because I mean it is a coin, so it could have been like the equivalent of almost like a $50 bill to them. So I guess that'd be possible. All right, Jeff. Jeff sent $5. Heal that finger up so we can play one-on-one for a buffalo nickel. Hey, I would play one-on-one with you one-handed. I've beat people one-handed before. You got your work cut out for you. I don't need my pinky finger. I'll play you right now. Let's go. I would love to meet up with you sometime. We gotta work something out. You gotta send me an email for like when I can get out that way, or if you're over here or something. I never knew specifically, but I assume you hunt around Missouri, obviously, mostly. So I'm assuming you live in Missouri, or at least right around there. But yeah, send me an email. We'll have to try to set something up sometime. I do really want to get back into the detecting this fall. Hit it hard for a while. All right. Bye, Kevin. Glad you stopped by. And you're up there, right, Jeff? I don't got to give you a sticky, right? I think you're up there. If not, I'll add you later. You tell me. All right. See you, Brad. Glad you stopped in. Really happy for you once again. That was a find of a lifetime. Maybe I'll make it up someday to hunt up there with you. I'm still throwing around the idea of trying to get a little vacation spot somewhere in the Northeast. I've been looking in a lot of areas that are actually pretty close to Vermont. So if I ever end up that way, I will definitely holler at you. I'd love to go up in the woods and do some of that detecting, looking for the old colonial stuff. Not much colonial stuff in Tennessee. It's here. It's just far and few between. Now, there are some here in the northeastern part of the state. There was a lot of traffic through here in the late 1700s. So it's here. And I mean, I found a King George II, which is early to mid 1700s, about the earliest of a coin you can find in my area. So it's here. But most of the colonial stuff I find is right around early 1800s when I do find it. I'm not picky, though, for places to metal detect. As long as you can find old stuff. I don't care if I'm hunting an old 1700s farm, or if I'm hunting like a World War II bungalow. I don't really care. World War II era, not necessarily a World War II bungalow. Ones that are built around that time, you get what I'm trying to say. All right. So let's see. Hey, Diana. Good to see you in here. Oh, you go through Knoxville a couple times a year. All right. That's about an hour and 45 minutes for me now. So send me an email and just like let me know before you come through this way, and maybe we'll set something up. Or if I'm closer to you, we'll set something up out your way. That would be fun. That would be a blast. Okay. What is your thumbnail? The only thumbnails I can do for these live streams, because I have it set up through my camera, is a face shot. So I just make a goofy face and that's my thumbnail. Like, I can change it after it's posted, but I can't use any other thumbnails for when I do these live streams the way I have them set up. So it's just me being an idiot. Is your lamp bent? Yeah. Watch this. So yeah, it's bent. You can bend it whatever way you want. All right. Okay. Yeah, I got to keep the light above it, because if you put it down like this, it'll just blind you. I'm not an angel. So it's got to stay up a little bit higher, otherwise it gives a glare. So yeah, it's bent. Lamp like his pinky. Yeah. Okay, it actually hurts a little bit. Hang in there. It'll be fine. I'm in denial. It's not broke. It's not broke. It'll be fine. All right. You guys are making me laugh tonight. This is good. I could use some laughter. All right. Yeah, it got dark out. It got dark out quick. I wasn't responding to a comment. That was just me being spontaneous. Okay. Let's try to get up to some of the older comments I missed here. Well, just head south, JD, and you will find plenty of properties to hunt, like around my area. Man, I'll tell you what, it's, especially in the summer, man, that heat beats you down. Like, the last thing I want to do is head further south. I just got to be completely honest. Phew. I'm actually, it's a lot easier where I live now. It's putting glare off. I can move that. That's a little better. All right. It's a few degrees colder where I move now because I'm closer to the Appalachian Mountains. So I'm just happy being where I'm at. I can't imagine metal detecting in the deep south all the time, except for obviously apart from the four plus months in the summer where it's just, I call it stupid hot because you just literally go brain dead. You become stupid. You can't help it. You just, every ounce of energy and anything thoughtful in your mind just goes out and you're just like this. That's the South. That's the South. Gotta love it. All right. I like winter. Winter's fun for like 2 weeks. I like doing snow hikes and stuff, but I mean, when the winter's like 4 to 5 months, at that point you're just like, I'm done. I am absolutely done. But then again, the summers here are so brutally hot. It's like you don't want to do anything for like 3 months, and like, unless it like rains or something. You need a Mountain Dew. I can't drink Mountain Dew. I've developed a caffeine intolerance when I started cleaning up my diet like 5 years ago. If I drank a can of Mountain Dew, a full can, I would like literally almost go into a coma. Cold sweats, I'd curl up into a ball, I'd get agitated and start yelling at people. I'm serious. I ain't making that up. I'll bite. I will bite. Stay away. Florida has nothing on Georgia in the summer. I don't know because I've never been to Florida, but I believe you. I know the humidity anywhere in the southern Florida is just brutal in the east. I mean, it's bad where I'm at. Like I said, it's not quite as terrible compared to Knoxville where I used to live. It's even a little bit milder here, and it's still something else. Have you ever found valuable jewelry, or do you detect with gold settings? I generally, when I'm looking in old areas, I generally leave my discrimination open to pick up probably 95% plus of gold, except maybe real little tiny bits. I have found some valuable jewelry. I found a gold ring with a gold coin set in it. I actually haven't found a lot of gold for 7 years of metal detecting. I found maybe 5 or 6 gold rings, maybe 5 gold rings, and I found 1 gold pendant. So I definitely do try to find gold, especially at the older spots when the rings and stuff like that can be antique. So I have found gold. And yes, I do generally have, I wouldn't say specifically gold settings on. I kind of look for everything. I mean, most of the type of metal detecting I do, the only metals I try to avoid are like iron and steel and stuff like that. And in some permissions, I'll even dig big iron because it can be unique, neat stuff like old iron relics like horseshoes and just really cool stuff. And you never know if one of them big crazy signals is going to be a jar of buried something, rather. Okay. Metal detect here in Southern California when the temperature is 114 degrees. And I'm not talking Death Valley. So I don't I don't really know specifically where all the cities are located in California. I assume because it runs north to south, there's a wide range of like climates there. But isn't it like at least most of California, or is it just mainly like the middle portion that has the heat but not the humidity? Because I mean, the heat's not bad if there's no humidity. I mean, humidity just like knocks you flat. Like 100 degrees isn't terrible if there's like next to no humidity or low humidity. It's that humidity that gets you. I love your channel. Thank you for making it. I appreciate it. I try my best. All right. Has Garrett tried to get you like they did to many YouTubers? I haven't noticed. I reached out to him once in the past and didn't get a response. I mean, that's pretty common, but that was a couple years ago. I just haven't really pursued anything here recently. I got so used to just kind of going with the flow that I just don't even want the responsibility of taking on new sponsors. Not that I won't do it. It's just got to be the right situation. So, I mean, it seems like Garrett's pretty cool with the types of sponsorships they do, that they're pretty laid back with it. So who knows what I'll do in the future? I don't know. I'm just really lazy when it's come to that recently. Just put more focus into building the platform and putting the type of content out putting out the type of content that I want to put out. I've been focusing more on that than trying to frame everything through the lens of, oh, I have a sponsor. So maybe I'll be like one of those types of YouTube channels that's just kind of off the wall, because it kind of already is a mixed bag save it for the sponsors who really don't give a crap. Maybe, but we'll see. It seems like in the treasure hunting industry, it seems like it's kind of more of like I don't know. It seems like people are more picky about sponsorship type things, stuff like that. So I don't know. Love all your videos, JD. Thanks for putting yourself out there. Well, I'm glad you like them too. I try my best. I decided a while back in the channel I just wanted to be real and just accept whatever happens as far as channel growth. So I'm glad. I'm happy to spend the time here and with you all. I enjoy it. I really do. All right. My most favorite hunt and why? Man, I don't know. I'll tell you what, it's hard not to be excited that yard that me and Rusty started metal detecting years back. And I went back to it and I found 75 wheat pennies and 10 silver coins. The second time I was there, there was 29 silver coins that came out of that spot. I hunted the apartment complex where I dug almost 400 wheat pennies and like 84 silver coins. Wasn't all in one hunt. Probably off the top of my head, the most memorable one was when I found my first Morgan dollar, because I found, 6 different types of silver coins in that yard, and some relics too. I mean, it was really awesome. Hard to pick, really hard to pick, because I've had so many cool hunts, and some that I enjoyed more for like the scenery or the story or the area, but the finds weren't necessarily mind blowing. But I really enjoyed like the experience of the locations I were at. So it's really hard to say. All right. Are you a garage sale person? I will stop at them when I'm traveling, and sometimes I use them to try to network for metal detecting permissions. And if I'm not pressed for time and I'm driving by, I will stop at them. I'm not the type of person that will spend a whole day hunting down garage sales and going to them. Now, That's a little different once in a while. If I find a really cool estate sale at an old place, and I know ahead of time, I will take time out to go to like local estate sales where there can be like really, really old stuff. But I'm not huge into it. I will do it, but I'm not huge into it. Man, so there's 99 people in here now. So there's like more people in here now than there was a half hour ago. Get a drink. So if you're just coming in, I posted a video earlier today. If you didn't get a notification, it was a cash and coin roll search. So that was pretty fun, and we're still doing the thing. If you're not up here on the wall yet, $5 or greater super chat. I will write your name down on a sticky, and I will stick you on the wall. But yeah, we got a lot of stickies up there now. How many we got? That's from the last, I've done 4 or 5 live streams so far. We got 2, 4, 6. Let's start with the other row. That makes sense. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29 stickies, I think. I think we got 29 of them up there. Right. Cointelligence, I'm so psyched. I'm going to do a stream tomorrow celebrating 1K. Well, awesome. I hope I helped you get there from this live stream. I know what it really means to hit 1K. I mean, I was so happy when I did that. That's awesome. All right. All right. I see Jeff's heading out. We'll see you, Jeff. Thanks for stopping by. It was good chatting with you. Send me an email, like I said. Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't finish your comment. You beat me to it. Perfect. All righty. You're putting a road trip together. If you're still here, that's awesome. Maybe you can swing by and pick me up. We'll go somewhere. We'll see. Okay. Hey, Jackie Smith. Good to see you. Good to see you in the live stream. I got to catch up on a couple of your most recent videos. Good to see you here. So you're going live to try and make more money, quick sales. No, but while I'm here, it's a way to support the channel if you wish. I don't care. I do live streams if nobody sent a super chat. Just enjoy doing it. All right. So the last time I did almost a 4-hour thing, and I mean, it was like $17. I've got a lot better ways to spend 4 hours than making $17. It's not even minimum wage. So definitely not doing it for the money. This is not an efficient way to make money. Definitely not. Unless you're like a YouTuber that has multi-million subscriptions and probably has 10,000 people in your live stream, or you provide a type of content where it directly, I want to say directly affects people's lives, but I mean anyone's content affects people's lives. I don't know how I want to put it. There's certain people that types of content they put out that's more polished, that has more value in it. Like if you look at certain political, I don't want to say political figures, just because you discuss current events doesn't make you political. But certain channels that I've seen that have more of a more certain types of content, they can have live streams and have a lot of people donate it, but normally they're spending a ton of money on their travel and the type of content they produce. So it's expected that they get more donations and things like that. I'm just kind of an easygoing, random collage, collectibles, metal detecting, and current events and chatting and whatever I want to talk about channel. So there's really no specific service or something or that I'm providing that I would say would earn a high donation rate. Let's put it that way. Cointelligence is $4.25 an hour. Hey, it's still not bad. Not bad. It's better, I guess. Okay, I'm not going to make any jokes. I'm going to say it's better than doing dirty work for $4.25 an hour, like cleaning toilets or something. But hey, if you enjoy doing it or you need to do a job, you do what you got to do. I clean my own toilets. I don't pay somebody to come in the house and clean my toilets for me. So whatever but for $4.25 an hour, I guess it'd be preferable to just sit down and be lazy and chat with people. But no, I don't do this for the money. I don't care if anybody does a super chat or not. Okay, let's try to get in some other things. Yeah, the last place I think the hobby should be placed is in industrious, right? Yeah. I mean, especially the area I look around. I mean, literally my best metal detecting finds, apart from if it's maybe something really unique that somebody may want to pay more from, like I don't ever find anything worth over like $200. I mean, I found my gold coin ring, a rare standing Liberty quarter, my Union Civil War spurs probably up around the $100 range. I found a couple other gold rings that are all worth under $100 based on weight. Like I don't find expensive stuff in my location because not only have people been historically poor in this area, it's generally not old enough to find the super rare old coins, like colonial coins and ones that have like a really significant value. Like you see, like the Hoover boys, they find coins that are actually more often than not, sometimes they find coins that are actually worth a decent chunk of money. Not that they sell them, I'm just saying. Whereas where I'm at, not only do I not find like historically it's been poor in this area, and even in the modern day, the people don't lose really expensive jewelry around it here like they do in some more coastal areas or on the West Coast. I see people digging up like $1,000 jewelry like regularly sometimes, and even more expensive than that. You're more likely to find more expensive jewelry water hunting, but for many different reasons in my area, I just don't really find extremely valuable stuff. Now I find old stuff, and that's all that I really care about, but monetarily, I don't find anything's worth a whole lot. 925 on 92 Finder. I never know how I'm supposed to say your channel name. It's like a play on words. Like the 5 is supposed to be an F. Am I right? I think I said it the last time. We'll just say it 925 Finder. I think you're up there already. You up there? I'm almost certain I put you up there. You let me know. If not, I'll put you up there. Let's see. Let's get back into what's going on here. Okay. Ethical dilemma. You find valuables in a house on property purchased by a developer. They are going to bulldoze the house. Do you try and find any heirs? I'm not saying this answer is 100% ethical or 100% correct, but normally in that specific instance, I would say no, because normally when a place is abandoned, people took the items they intended to take with them. So in many, I won't even say most, but just to play it safe, let's say in many instances like that, most of the stuff left behind was deliberately left behind whenever the place was abandoned. And at that point, the ownership is of the developer. So legally, it doesn't belong to the people, even if there are heirs. Because let's put it this way. And like I say, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to return stuff to people. Like I've returned rings before that I've found that have been initialed. So I'm not saying don't do that. But if it's in somebody's house and you're saying you would want to find one of their heirs, well, it's almost like saying that the people that used to live there neglected their possessions, and you are reuniting that possession with someone else, with their heirs, people that came after them. If you want to do it as a good deed or to reach out, then obviously there's no problem with that. But legally and technically, they have no right to the ownership of it anymore. So it really just depends on the situation, the item, or items, how they got there, why they were left there. There are instances where there's heirs that don't want anything to do, with their relatives. You don't know why people discard things. There are certain people that get rid of rings and items because they want to forget their past or they want to forget their family. So I've actually heard of instances where people tried returning items and upset the people they were trying to return them to. So I look at it at that angle too. So when it comes to contents inside a house or something like that, I personally wouldn't try to track down anyone that it, to the family of maybe who it had belonged in. But if it's specific trinkets while I'm metal detecting and I found a ring, the vast majority of the time it was something that was lost and the people were kind of gutted over losing it. So by returning it, you're making someone's day. And I've never tried to return something that somebody didn't want. I'm just trying to describe that there are different situations. So I wouldn't go out of my way as far as contents inside of a house unless there was some kind of unknown circumstances that changed that dynamic. Well, that was a long-winded answer, but I think I said kind of what I wanted to. All right. Let's see. Let's try to catch up on a few new comments here after I get a drink. I see Quentin in the chat. Minnesota Unearthed. How's it going? Good evening, JD. It's Quentin. I'm watching on my PS3, so I can't use chat. My wife is on the computer playing Sims. I had to shoot you a message to let you know I'm watching. Well, I'm glad that you're watching, and thanks for letting me know. I watched your most recent video where you found that, I know it was a silver half, right? Was it I don't remember if it was a Walking Liberty or Ben Franklin. That was awesome. Always awesome to find big silver. Maybe Mr. Beast will show up and drop $100. That would be, hey, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't complain at all. But if he saw that video I did discussing him a little bit, maybe he wouldn't. But I obviously wasn't saying anything against him in that video. I was just using him as a comparison to certain types of content in YouTube's constant, what's the word I'm looking for? Selective enforcement. Not going to go into all that now. I did the video on it, so I'm not going to take the chat in that direction right now. Turning into more of a lighthearted chat today, just doing whatever topic seems like a good idea at the time. Still got 75 people in the house, 71 likes. Hit that like button, get us up to 100 on the live chat. If you could have any coin, what would it be? Well, if I could have any coin, I would just take the most expensive coin in existence, and then I would sell it, and then I would just use that money to do all sorts of different things. So it wouldn't be for novelty reasons. If I could have any one I ever wanted, I would pick the most valuable coin that exists, and then I would sell it. Honest answer. So I guess that would beg the question. I'll just add my own question to that. I keep my metal detecting finds, especially like the silver and coins and things like that I find. What rarity and value would a coin have to demand for me to find it and then actually sell it? Because I don't sell my silver coins. So what dollar value would it have for me to actually go, I don't just want this sitting around. I'd rather have the cash. That is a pretty good answer. I'm going to have to think about that. Man, that's tough. $10,000, I would keep it. I know that. So $10,000 is not enough to make me sell a rare coin I found. Boy, $50,000. Would $50,000 be enough to make me sell a coin that I found? I don't think $50,000 would be enough. Would $100,000 be enough? I think $100,000 would be enough because, number one, it would make a killer YouTube video that I would probably even pay somebody to professionally edit, and I would go through and do it extremely well and time it in a very strategic time when my channel has momentum and try to get it to go viral. So I would really put a lot of effort into that, trying to monetize the actual video itself. So I wouldn't just be making $100,000. I'd be making $100,000 plus whatever I could get out of the video. Then I would make a whole series out of taking that $100,000 and investing it into something. So if we got up into 6 digits, I would definitely, I wouldn't say definitely, most likely, given the circumstances I'm thinking about, I would sell the coin and make some kind of big production out of it and future direction for the channel. I think I would do that. But $50,000, I don't know, maybe I'd still sell it too, but I think it'd be one of those things where you'd be always thinking about it like, man, it's just the best thing I ever found. I sold it. But then again, the person that buys that type of thing, they might be cool about it. They might even put it in a display that says found by so-and-so here and then. You know, if it made it into somebody's personal collection, you know, like a multi-million-dollar collection, and I could, like, you know, look at it and know that I found it in the context of their entire collection, that would actually be kind of cool. So, yeah, there you have it. Look around sledding hills for rings. I've looked around some sledding hills before. I looked around an old sledding hill when I used to live in Pennsylvania, and it had been metal detected a lot in the past, but I found a few old coins that people missed. I can really remember because I think that's where I found one of my first V-nickels. Yeah, I found one of my first V-nickels on the sledding hill, and I found a silver Roosevelt dime that was like bent in half. I don't know why I really remember that. It's just really stuck with me. I don't forget a lot of this stuff. Like I could ramble off on metal detecting stories and where I found stuff and how I found it and like what it was and the date. Like I just remember so much of that stuff. Hey, Jackie's leaving. You're probably already gone. I'm kind of scrolled up in the comments a little bit, but glad you stopped by. I'll definitely have to check out some of your recent videos if you've been posting any. I haven't been watching too many videos here on YouTube for metal detecting lately. That's actually a funny question here. Have you ever found a VDB penny? No, I've been trying so hard. And the funny thing is Jerry has found a bunch of them. And actually, since he moved to my area when we started hunting together, he's found like 4 of them or something since we started metal detecting together. He didn't find all of them while he was specifically metal detecting with me, but I can't find one. I've found multiple 1909 no mint mark wheat pennies. And when I lived in Pennsylvania, I'm on the East Coast, and I actually found a 1909 San Francisco that had no VDB on it. So the fact that I found a 1909 S before I actually found a 1909 VDB that was minted in Philadelphia is crazy. I can't find one. And every time I find a 1909, I'm like, this is going to be the one. And then I'm cleaning off the back of it. And I'm like trying to convince myself that it's there, and it's just not. All right. I think somebody just made a super chat. Yeah. And it's got a question. So hold on a second. I'll read your question after I add you to the list up here, or the sticky notes, because the super chat is from D Sims, and I know you're not up here. So let me see what color we're on. I think we're on pink. You get a pink sticky, but I'm going to write you down now, and then I will read your question. All righty. Let's get you up on the wall. And there you go. I'll be showing them in future videos too, so I know you can't really see it now. So as for the comment, Other than door knocking, what other routes or resources do you use to find a place to metal detect that has the potential of producing old coins? Okay, so apart from door knocking, one of the methods I use if I'm just briefly trying to look for general areas quickly, I'll just use Google Maps and try to find historic areas that may have public property. Looking for parks in different schools to pull up on Google Maps. Now, in conjunction with that, my absolute main source is historicareals.com. Now, most of the maps, depending on where you live, I assume you're from the United States. If not, you'll have to let me know. Historicareals.com can go as early as the early 1900s for maps. But in most areas that I found of the country, most of the maps don't go pre-1930s, and in some areas don't go really pre-1950s. When you're old coin hunting and you don't really care about how old the old coins are, if that makes any sense, if your only criteria is just silver coins, obviously any house pre-1960 is going to be the best. So I use historicareals.com. You can map out old schools on the maps there. You can map out old houses, and you can pinpoint them and get the GPS and put that into Google Maps and find out exactly where they are. And then once you have that location, you can try to figure out, you can use that information for door knocking or trying to use local county assessor websites to see certain, especially larger populated areas will have assessors websites, like tax assessor websites, where you can go in and try to find out who owns which pieces of property you're looking at, and you can try to find out who owns things that way. I don't really cold call people. Sometimes I try to do that to find public property that people may not know about. Since my channel's larger, a lot of the times I try to network with people that I've met through YouTube. And since I have a larger channel and I've been doing this for a long time, I have gotten permission outside of people I've met on YouTube for contacting people from old properties and things like bed and breakfast and things like that, and doing my research, saying, hey, this is what I'm looking to do, etc. What would you think about letting me check out around the property and try to work something out with them? Normally, if I am going to stay somewhere, a lot of the times, like when I'm traveling, instead of staying just in a boring hotel, I'll book a place that kind of looks amazing, like a potential place to metal detect that has like a larger lawn or something like that. And I'll just stay there. And then you can ask before you show up, like, hey, I'm going to be there. This is my hobby. Would you mind if I look around while I'm there? If they say no, you just respect that, and you're staying there anyway. So I do anything possible to really increase my chances of finding an old place to look. But historicareals.com gives me the most information for being an old coin shooter. It helps me find old neighborhoods, old schools, any types of old factories and buildings. In my area, the maps go back to 1935, which is really helpful. I map them all out when I'm driving around. I'll look at them, see if the area is what I expected. Apart from that, I'll just have to think about it a little bit, but that's the main thing I use. I don't really, I'm not picky about the types of places I metal detect. So when I'm on a whim, that's enough research for me. Like, I'm not the type of person that's trying to pull up old maps dating back to colonial times and overlay them and things like that. I just kind of wing it a lot of the times, unless I'm setting up a trip and I want to try to get in somewhere better. All right. So I hope that answers your question. If you have anything more specific, let me know, and I'll try to answer it the best I can. But also, too, when I mentioned about public property, whatever city you're going to be looking in, it's also good to check about if they have any laws against it. But if you just type it, I'm telling you, this is big. This will be a little secret for everyone out there. If you want to find out the specific rules, You can generally do it this way. In most areas, even if they're a little bit lower populations, the best way to find the public parks is to go to the Parks and Recreation website. So whatever city you live in, look up, like, say, Knoxville. Just go to Google and type in Knoxville Parks and Recreation. If the city you live in has a Parks and Rec website, it literally has an entire list of all the public parks in your entire city. And right there, normally they have the rules listed. If it says, like, no alcoholic beverages, no pets, etc., print that list out. If there's nowhere on it that it says no disturbing, like shrubbery, or no digging, and if it doesn't say that, or it doesn't say no metal detecting, print that page out directly from the Parks and Rec website. So when you go to metal detect in the parks, if somebody says something to you, maybe they will still have the authority, like, to get you kicked out if somebody calls the cops and they say it's not permitted. But at least if you have that paper to show them that you looked into the rules and you have them, and there's nothing on there that says that you can't metal detect or dig or anything like that, use that piece of paper to show them that at the worst, I just didn't know. So even if you do get booted out, you're not in the wrong, because that's someone else's neglect and not addressing it. And that's why you always check too when you're at the park too. Just quickly make sure there's no signs that say no metal detecting. If there's a sign in the park that says it, then you're just asking for trouble. But that's a tip I use. The Parks and Rec websites for cities you're not familiar with are like gold mines for information and getting started on some older areas. And sometimes from there, you could find a nice big park in an old area, and find a place to park, maybe look around for a while, and while you're doing it, you're scouting out the old houses around, and maybe you see the people are nice, or you meet someone, or you door knock. So starting at an old park or a school in an old area town can be a good place to kind of branch out to do some old coin hunting, on private permissions. I've gotten a lot of permissions that are like across from parks and things like that. And they're generally, if you're around parks, you're in an area where people are used to door knocking, and they're used to being people walking by their house and stuff like that. So people are generally receptive to their door being knocked on. It's not like uncommon. All right, we got Mike from Wildcat Creek Survivals in here. Hey, buddy, good to see you in here. I didn't check in your last video. I saw you posted another one, but good to see you in the chat here. Okay. 925 Finder found a VDB in Canada. That's just sad that you found one in Canada before I found one in the United States in 7 years. That's just sad. I found a lot of 1909s. I just can't get the darn VDB. They're not even, the VDB from Philly, they're not even that rare. I mean, they're worth like $7-8. If they're in average condition. I just can't find one. I don't know what it is. I probably have 10 1909 pennies, just no VDBs. All right. All right. I'm not sure if you're still here, but JD, you ever use an XP Deus? You can see the box there. I started using one. I haven't posted any of the footage yet. But I do have one now, and I've used it a couple times. Let's see. All right, Rob's out of here. See you, Rob. I'm probably not going to stay a whole lot longer. Still feeling a bit chipper, so maybe we'll go another 20 minutes. We'll see. Have you thought about detecting fully underwater? Yeah, I have. It's just not really good in the area that I do. Most of the waterways are owned by TVA, and it's illegal to metal detect. So it's just, there's no sense getting into it for around where I look, because there's next to nowhere to do it. But I would love to metal detect fully underwater and look for jewelry and relics and all kinds of things that were lost. I would definitely enjoy doing that. Okay. I just scored a 1914 barber dime in between some old sidewalk tiles. That's sweet. I could go for some more good sidewalk strips. Man, that was a blast. When me and Jerry and Vic were hunting, and I scouted that sidewalk strip that was loaded with old coins. That was really fun. I love to go out, but it's almost impossible to detect here in Arizona in the summer. Yeah, I can imagine. I chuckle sometimes when you say in your videos that it's hot or the soil is hard. Yeah, I can bet it's crazy there. But it does get hot here and humid too. I don't know. Arizona, it's more of a dry heat, right? Like here, the humidity, I mean, 5 minutes, I mean, it looks like you're a fish. I mean, you're just soaked. And that's what's killer. I mean, I don't care. I mean, 90 degrees is nothing to me if it's not humid. It's the humidity and the sun that beats you down. But I can even last an hour or two in the sun as long as it's not humid. You got to hunt with Nikki again. Well, Nikki is in Colorado and I am not. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm ever out that way. I'll try to reach out to Nikki and Rick and see if I can meet up, but just not Colorado's. I don't know. Just not on my radar. So, not probably won't be out that way anytime soon. Got a $10 super chat from 0567 Jenny. I appreciate that. You've been coming in almost every live stream, so I appreciate that. It says keep up the amazing videos. I will try to do my best. Ugh. All right. Just popped in. Love your vids. Actually started seriously detecting in June. Found an 09 VDB filly already. Everybody seems to have beat me to the 09 VDB. I'm going to get one. This is going to be a big event. Popped 3 barbers, a Mercury, and a Rosie dime last night. Where are you metal detecting? Are you northeast? That's a good hunt. That's a good hunt, man. I wish. I mean, I miss when I did hunts like that on a regular basis. Man, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm just being flat out honest with you. I have not been in the door knocking mode. I just haven't been there, and I don't find hardly anything old if I don't door knock in my area. So if I don't feel like door knocking, I don't find anything unless I have like an invite maybe, or and I go hunt with a special permission with someone else. Generally, if I don't door knock, I don't find anything. So if I go 2 months without door knocking, I don't have a lot of content to put out there. So it's just kind of the reality where I metal detect right now. You really got to put the legwork in. And in the summer, it makes door knocking a lot harder because especially sometimes you knock one door and you're soaked and you're muddy and you just don't feel like knocking another door. So I'm kind of saving my energy right now for the hunts that really matter. I'm gonna rest up, get my broken or bent or busted tendon, whatever it is, get my pinky healed up, get my muscles in good shape. Going to be doing a lot of lifting here, trying to build up some muscle for to make it easier on the metal detecting, and resting, getting ready for some serious treasure hunting in the fall. We'll see how it goes, so I can get some awesome footage. May even get I may buy a drone, but let me throw a little teaser out for you guys here. I'll be doing a video. It's nothing like super exciting, but I've just been doing some creek walking, right? While the water's been low here and in the summer. I found a drone. I found a drone. I didn't post the video yet. So that'll be fun. Never expected I'd find a drone in the creek. Somebody crashed that thing. That couldn't have been fun. But yeah, I found a drone like a week ago. We got a $3.99 Super chat from William Zayas says, remember me. I do remember me. Aren't you the person that popped in here before and like dropped like 5 different 99-cent super chats? That's a good subliminal way to get people to remember your channel name. Just I don't want to say it's spamming. I mean, you're doing a super chat. It's a kind gesture. But if you just like dump a bunch of 99-cent super chats, I bet that's a good way to get some people to subscribe to your channel or get the attention of the live streamer like myself, because you just see these flashing things popping up all over the side of the screen. Right. I bet, okay, where did it say here? I bet in Philly there's a treasure trove. Man, I can't imagine all the stuff you can find over there. I did so well on the silver coins when I lived in Pennsylvania. Down here in Tennessee, you gotta work for it. You gotta work. I mean, man, I've been throwing around the idea of like just taking a month off of life and work and just going up north and metal detecting and finding all kinds of amazing old stuff. I gotta do it one of these times. It'll be the best video, it'll be the best month of my channel ever. I'll just like post a video every day. All right. Who are your favorite YouTubers to watch when you can't get out hunting? I answered that a little bit before. I don't like to go into that topic because I have so many friends here that it just turns into me trying to like list off everybody I know. I don't want to exclude anybody doing that. But one of the main things I point out is I used to watch a ton of metal detecting videos in the past. I don't watch as many as I used to just because I have other interests in my focus isn't fully on watching metal detecting videos on the time. So like as far as the content I consume, I actually watch more non-metal detecting related videos on YouTube than I actually do metal detecting videos. And that is the truth. Now that wasn't true in the past, but it is especially over the last year or so. I use YouTube as an educational tool. I watch lectures. I get news and current events from it. I branch out into just other random content, like, as a curiosity thing. Like YouTube to me is kind of like a tool. There are a lot of different friends I pop in on. But as far as metal detecting, I wouldn't say there's a lot of channels out there that I really watch religiously. I just pop in here and there and try to keep tabs, with my friends and certain creators that I like, what they do with the videos, whether I know them personally or not. So, I'm kind of all over the place with that. Okay. Dana Marie, $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Let's read the comment here. Your videos got me into metal detecting. My boyfriend is like, are you watching JD's videos again? LOL, we both enjoy watching. You are one of a kind. I appreciate that. I don't think you're up on the thing here. So I'm going to give you a sticky up on the wall. And I just did pink, so we're on orange now. You're going to get an orange sticky. Oh, it's getting on 10 o'clock here. What time zone are all you guys in? I'm on the Eastern time zone, so I always got to remember it's the latest here. There's probably some people on the West Coast that it's still only like 7 o'clock. All right, you're going up on the wall now, and I will show these stickies in one of my normal videos. I keep saying that, but it will happen. There you have it. We are an hour and a half in, and I got a lot of energy today. I think since I started playing a lot more basketball and doing a lot more lifting, and just been doing a lot of walking too, I've just been staying active, and I've had so much more energy. We're at 96 likes in the live chat. Come on, get that up to 100. There's got to be 4 people in here that haven't smacked that like button yet. Got to get to 100 on the live stream. Okay. Don't forget construction sites when you're in an urban environment. That may be the only time that some of the ground is turned up for decades. I just signed a waiver for permission to an awesome one. That is cool. I hope you find some stuff. I did that video. I don't know if you watched it. I did a video like last month. I got to metal detect a skull tear out. They're going to be doing major, massive renovations they got a grant and they're expanding the size of the skull. So they tore up the front of the skull, dozed it like crazy. And I found like a couple old wheat pennies and old nickel. I found an old intact Coke bottle, which is crazy for in front of a skull that it wasn't cracked, that had been there for like 60, 70 years. I didn't find anything mind-blowing, but yeah, I love tear-outs. Tear-outs are cool. So I told everybody to hit the like button, and in like 10 seconds, we went from 96 likes to 112. So that was crazy. But yeah, I guess the like button is something that people aren't normally looking at when you're doing a live stream. Like it's not normally on my radar. It's one of those things. Ask and you shall receive. Oh, it's just fun. Let's see. All right, get a lot of comments coming in now. I'll try to pick a couple more here. I found a $5 bill with a serial number that said 77118890. Is it valuable? It's not too uncommon to find one with 3 different repeaters in it. And if there's really nothing else special about it, like it's also an error bill or it has a star at the end of it, I would say it's not worth anything. And unless you just want to keep it for personal collection, I would just save it or spend it. Because I don't really think you'll be able to sell it for more than face value. But if it was like a 77118899, then you may be able to find a collector willing to pay a couple dollars over face value for it. But I personally wouldn't keep that one. 2:55 a.m. UK here. Ooh, that's rough. Unless you're a night owl like me, I'm not uncommonly up till 3 a.m. Okay. Yeah, I would love to do a trip up the East Coast and detect with you, Ocker Chigger, Nugget Noggin, Hoover Boys, and Green Mountain, just to name a few. Absolutely. Sounds like you got some good choices on your list, because I'm on it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got to start doing some more meetups here as I travel more. I know Nugget Noggin moved further north, but does anybody know exactly where he ended up? Like which state he ended up in? Like I can just tell he's not in North Carolina anymore. And I know he said he moved. Does anybody know where he ended up? Is he like in Virginia or is he further north? Because he's definitely getting onto some older stuff now. For sure. If he does his typical woods hunting videos that he used to do in the past, he's going to have a lot more success if he's further up north now. I'll tell you what, for the types of areas he metal detected back in his early YouTube days, I mean, he put the effort in to find his stuff. I mean, I don't think people realize how much effort goes into like his woods hunts. I know when he metal detects, I mean, he goes at it all day. He definitely puts the effort in. I used to before I started having issues, man. Now I'll still do it at amazing spots, but whew, I put in 8 hours of metal detecting, and I'm normally gonna get a huge neck-related muscle headache and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I try to save my energy for the good locations. That's one of the reasons I don't tinker around with public property much anymore. I mean, spending 4 hours looking for one old coin. It's just not my thing. I'll save my energy and do something more productive. So I still may do some. We'll see what happens. I want to do some hunting up north. I'm looking at the idea of next year trying to line up getting an investment property that I can also stay in somewhere in the deep north. And if that happens, there's going to be some cool stuff coming to the channel. But we will see. I don't want to make any promises right at the moment. for content. It's taking it as it comes right now. JD, I used to live in both Tennessee and Mississippi. I know what you mean about the humidity. It and the heat will sap you in no time flat. You got to basically hunt after 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. and not kneel over or not keel over. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, especially in the summer when it is hot. It's like the first place that gets hunted out is under the shade trees because you get on a permission and you just walk to that big magnolia tree or whatever shade you can find, and you just keep for a half hour. You just look for targets around that tree, and then you're at a point where like, dang, I got to go out in the sun or I ain't going to find anything else. All right. Who is going to win the East with LeBron gone? Raptors with Kawhi? I don't know. I don't follow the NBA basketball as much as I used to. That's a good question. I'm not certain. I don't know. We'll see how it goes with the Raptors. I normally don't watch a whole lot anymore, but with him kind of going there out of the blue the first year, we'll see how it goes. They definitely could, but it wouldn't be surprising me if somebody else kind of snuck in there. Jump on over here to Ohio. I may sometime. I may. What is your favorite thing to dig up? Silver and gold. I don't care what it is, as long as it's silver or gold or something old and cool. A really cool old relic. Something that tells a story. Have you ever been hurt metal detecting, glass, ivy, etc.? Apart from the usual aches and pains and pulling my groin from doing an innumerable amount of squats or like related injuries based on that type of stuff, I've gotten bit by fire ants on the feet a few times, but that's what you get for detecting in flip-flops in the South. Really stupid. I've never been hurt to the point where I can really remember it. I've never cut myself in glass. I've cut myself minorly a few times in really pointy pieces of like brass and stuff where you poke it through your glove like they're like shards. Nothing major that I can remember. Nothing really major. But I'm not really susceptible to poison ivy. I could probably suck on it and wouldn't get it. I just have never had poison ivy, and I grew up in the woods. Now, my dad, on the other hand, if like the wind blows and it's in the wind, he'll break out and his whole body will be like blisters all over, which is kind of strange because I'm like almost immune to it. I've never had it, and I've been in it before, believe me. CoinTelPro says, you're aware YouTube system reads audio of what you say. That's why your videos about Nazi, etc. get flagged even when you censor titles. Yeah, I know. It happens. Sometimes they get overturned automatically by the AI after it's been posted a few days. It normally doesn't happen that way. They normally just stay in restricted unless you submit an appeal. But I know. But actually, if you only say it like once or twice and it's in a longer video and it's not like constant different words, sometimes it's hard to say when it picks up on it. So if you take it out of a title, you take it out of your tags and you only mention a few times in the video, sometimes it won't. So it's one of those things. I don't know all the fine details, but you're absolutely right. There's definitely AI that tracks the audio. Absolutely. That's a fact. Do you watch Aqua Chigger? Yes, I pop in on Bo's videos. Like most people, I don't watch every single upload, especially people like Bo who post constantly. I mean, he puts out a lot of content. I mean, like I don't expect people to watch all the videos I put out because I put out a lot of content, and they're not all treasure hunting themed. But yeah, I do. I watch Bo's videos. Let's see. 3:35 a.m. here in the Netherlands. All right, we have a new winner for the person in here at the latest. Or that's so late, it's actually early, depending on if you get up early or not. Deep Digger Dan is how I found your videos to begin with. I mean, that's how YouTube works. People that have similar channels get on each other's suggested videos a lot. So it's common, like people find my channel and other channels like me, Aqua Trigger, Nugget Noggin, Deep Digger Dan. Like a lot of our videos will be, like when you find one, you just kind of find the other people. So it's like the larger channels in the community get promoted amongst each other. That's just kind of how YouTube suggested works. It's changed some over the years, but especially back in the day, that's how it used to be, which is why it was, it's a really big thing that, if you love a community, just grow it, getting videos that go viral and building momentum and supporting people who do the videos, doing the videos yourself and getting involved. I mean, that's how you make things more visible. And I've tried my best to really bring a lot of notoriety to coin collecting and metal detecting and all sorts of types of treasure hunting. And I've tried to bring more people in from the big giant world of YouTube, because it really is an influential battle that there's all kinds of communities out there and they're really vying for attention. And I love to have more eyeballs and people watching this type of stuff and, like away from video games and things like that. I don't care. In the end, people can do what they want to do. I just really like being competitive and growing the community. I enjoy it. Did you ever metal detect after a circus or a fair? Not directly afterward. Because I don't normally go like surface hunting and looking for stuff, recent drops. I normally don't do that. So no. Hunting woods is hard, but can be rewarding. Yeah, it is difficult. Yeah, definitely got to put the work in. More terrain challenges. You got the ticks. You got to research, the home sites and stuff. Yeah, it can be tricky for sure. It's a lot more relaxing though, that's for sure. Have you found any non-US coins that you wouldn't expect to find in the US? Yes, I've done very well on finding old foreign coins. Let's just try to rattle off a few now. Naturally, if you do a lot of metal detecting, it's not uncommon to find coins from Europe and the United States. I mean, I've found quite a handful of British coins. My best British coin being a 50% half crown from, I believe, 1942. Big old half silver coin. Probably one of the most expected ones because it was so huge. I found how many was it? 1 peso? I don't remember, but I found a peso coin from 1926 from Mexico. It's like the size of a Morgan dollar. That thing is amazing. I found one of those. Couldn't believe it when I found it. Man, I found coins from all over. Let's see. I found an Australian 6 pence with a hole in it, but that was actually minted in San Francisco. So it went from San Francisco probably the whole way to Australia, and then somehow the whole way back to Tennessee. It got around, had a hole in it, was probably worn as a pendant. I found a coin from South Africa. I found the old Chinese and Japanese coins from the 1700s, which weren't really uncommon. A lot of those were brought over in the United States during the gold rush eras, and a lot of kids still had them in the 1900s because they were very common as like a collector's thing, and a lot of like relatives and stuff, they just got around. So I've even found those 1700s Chinese coins in houses built in the early to mid 1900s, more so the early 1900s, not as much so when you get up into the mid 1900s. I found some aluminum coins. I found one from Austria. I found a huge Nazi silver coin. I found some really cool coins from all over the place, pretty much every corner of the world except the Antarctic. I don't think they've done much coin mintage. Okay. I'm losing my voice a little bit. I may have to cut this short here in a little bit. Still got 68 people and 69 people in here. Let's see. Last week I stepped onto a piece of rotten plywood and went down, tossed my detector and landed in ice cold water cistern, South Iowa. How far down did you fall? That does not sound good. Man, you got to watch out for that kind of stuff. I'm always looking around when I'm out in the woods. The last thing you want to do is fall down an old well or something that's all boarded up. That's crazy. All right. I have a $1 bill with the serial number L908880008. Is it valuable? Not particularly. If it was all zeros and eights, I would hang on to it. You could probably sell it a little bit for a little bit more. Even though it is a trinary, you may want to keep it for a collection, but you're really not going to get a whole lot more than $1 for it if you try to sell it. It's just probably not too special. Unless it also has a star on it or it's like an error also to go along with it. Then it would be kind of cool because it has a neat serial number too. Okay. Hey, JD, do you ever get back to Knoxville? Only when I have to go back there for a specific reason. I normally don't metal detect while I'm there, but if I'm invited, I don't have any I don't have any. I swear, man, I'm starting to get tired. I don't have any. I'm not opposed to going back to Knoxville to metal detect. I wouldn't really go back unless I was invited to a permission or something. I have to go back one more time next week to get my last dental procedure to get my implant screwed in. You see the titanium back there? That's happening next week. So I'll be back there next week, but I probably won't metal detect because they got to cut me back open there and probably be too much throbbing to be bending up and down detecting. And it's still pretty hot out, but yeah, if somebody invites me to a permission or something, I'd probably drive into Knoxville sometime. I don't have it in the description here. My email's jdsvarietychannel@gmail.com. When I found my first silver dime, I was so excited. I was too. I mean, it's such a great feeling. It really is. I still remember the first silver dime I found was a 1958 Roosevelt dime. I was stoked. How many $2 bills do you have in your collection, and do you have any videos of them? I don't have any videos posted yet, but maybe I'll show them next time I show some paper money in a video. I do have some $2 bills. But yeah, I don't think I've shown any of them on video. I think I might have a couple months ago because I got a bunch of them back and changed at a restaurant. A waiter asked me if I wanted $2 bills, and I took them. I think I may have showed them in the video briefly. I don't really remember which one it was. It was at least a few months ago. All right. So for anybody just coming in now, I did post a video earlier today. If you didn't see it, I haven't even looked at it much since I posted it other than answering a few questions. I put that one interesting dollar bill I found up for auction. I don't even know if anybody bid on it. I started it at a penny, but I put the shipping at like $5 because I didn't feel like shipping it out. If somebody didn't want to bid, so be it. But if somebody bid $5, I'm like, hey, we'll ship it out. So what was it even? I'm gonna look at it right now, see if anybody bid on it. See if anybody bid on that. And nobody wants it. Yeah, it wasn't anything fancy. Just had it was like an ink error and had the date 1794 on it. If you're just coming in, smash the like button. We're at 121 likes. Smash that button. All right. Buy silver now. The markets are primed to crash. You may not get another chance. I actually do hold silver and gold, so I'm ready to go. I don't want to overstock on it. I'm not saying that you really can, but you can overstock on it to a point where it allows you not to trade and make investments in the near term. So it's all based on what you want to do personally and how much you want to have compared to cash and other investments. I mean, I'm really watching Bitcoin close. I may even do a video on Bitcoin because I'm a value investor and I avoided Bitcoin like a plague once it hit $10,000. But and then obviously when it went up to 19,000, I wouldn't touch it because I knew it had a lot of publicity and that it may have been overvalued on the short term. But I think it's kind of like going to be in a range for a while. And I think there's some major opportunity to make some money off of Bitcoin, off of kind of short to intermediate term trading. I've been watching it like a hawk. I might dump some significant money into Bitcoin trying to do some flips on it. If I do that, I'll do some videos on it because I'm kind of like a market analyst. I watch all kinds of different things. And Bitcoin's one of the things that I've had my eyeballs on for a long time, even though I haven't pulled the trigger. It's actually, I used to watch it on and off for some various reasons way back when it was only a few $100s. And boy, do I wish I would have gotten in on it way back before it first skyrocketed. But I didn't at that point, I didn't really know enough about it, like what people know, like the information that's out there today. But that's pretty much the nature of investing. If you're late to the party, you miss the big profits. So that's just how it is. JD, you have been invited to NH Bud, Reals, and Coppers. Anybody who wants to invite me, send me an email. That is the best way to invite me because I try to read them all now and I try to set that up for meeting people and doing trips. So send me an email. Tell me who you are, where you are, like if you have permission or you want to take me somewhere. I'm going to be doing a lot more traveling. So if I'm in your area, or sometimes I'll even make a trip just to meet up with you. So send me anybody who wants to invite me, send me an email. Tell me where you want to live. Tell me, I'm getting tired. Tell me, where you live or at least the general area and whatever information you can tell me about yourself. Like, have you been subbed to the channel for a while? Like, I'll be able to tell if you have a YouTube channel, like whatever you can tell me about yourself, like with an invite. I do try to get to all my messages, even if it's only once a week. I've already set up a few things through email since I've started, putting it out there on the live chats. I'll be making at least a few trips to different places in Virginia. So like for now, I was kind of going to places that are closer to around me. But if you are in the Northeast and you want to invite me, let me know. Even my international viewers who want to invite me somewhere, it's possible. Nothing's impossible. So if you want to invite me, the best thing to do is just put it in an email and send it to me. jdsvarietychannel@gmail.com. JDS plural variety channel. Let's see. Get it in a private vault and insure it. I've got it in a secure location. I'm not big on the whole insurance thing. And also, precious metals is not like paper money. Even if it melts, it's going to retain its value. So I'm not really worried about fire. And I've got it in a secure location. So I'm not really worried about theft or anything like that. Okay. I found a Bitcoin 2 inches down near a Tesla. I'm assuming that's a joke, but that's pretty funny. Let's see. Dropped Bitcoin in March. I can't remember when it peaked. It went like, it skyrocketed again and then like dumped off in no time at all. So if you got out at the right time there, you did good. But there's this debate on the Bitcoin. Not a debate, but I've really been watching it, and I've heard multiple different sources say that it costs right around $5,800 currently to produce a Bitcoin. So there seems to be a lot of market support around that level. Like when the price gets to like below $6,000, or below 50, like around there, below 6,000, that people stop mining. And if you look at the market patterns, like anytime it like dips right below 6,000 or around in there, it like never breaks below that. And I'm not saying it can't, but it's kind of interesting because there's so many eyeballs on it. And then there's the new technology and it is being adopted and it does actually have value, but it's been so high and so low over the last year and a half. The question is, what is the real value of Bitcoin and where is it headed? I agree that it's headed higher, but has it reached the proper bottom of its actual value before it starts going, higher? It's just such a volatile market. It's hard to get a read on. So that's kind of like the big question. What is the value of a Bitcoin? And I'm only speculating, but it seems to be that the current market value, based on the test of time and where things are headed, that below $6,000, it's really creating major support there. So I'd almost want to say that, on the low end, the Bitcoins are worth about $5,800. So I'm seriously thinking about investing some money in around the range that it's in now. And I may get out if it goes up $1,000. I don't know. I'm not as much of a long-term investor on it this time. I may keep some money in it long-term just to see what it does, but I think there's some money to be made. I mean, obviously it fluctuates so much that if I've never been good as a stock trader. I've tried it before. I don't have the type of restraint for that, for like day trading and things like that. I would just be terrible at it, even though I'm a more numbers person. Like I said, I'm more of a value investor, and I try to find underpriced things and then sell them after I make a significant profit. And not just in Bitcoin and real estate, anything. I just like to look at markets. Okay. The world is dropping. The dollar, gold, silver is forever. I do know that as time progresses here, a lot of the fiat currencies are going to be facing a lot of challenges, especially with the rise of cryptocurrencies. How gold and silver will react to that is kind of interesting because silver is more of like poor man's gold, and it can go through extreme boosts in times of turmoil. But then there's also the aspect of when the economy slows, there's less industrial input for silver. So it's kind of one of the things. It's just gold and silver. It's a very refined market, and it's unfortunately it's been successfully suppressed very well over the last, since the prices came down really hard. What was that, like almost 10 years ago? It's just not done a whole lot now. It's extremely good for retaining wealth, but for building it's not the best investment. But that can change just like that. But if you put all your money into gold and silver 10 years ago, you're actually, other than preserve your wealth and take a minor loss, it didn't really do a whole lot. But I mean, markets are cyclical. Like, they can change fast. If fiat currency continues to tank all over the world, and especially if the US is hit, then yeah, it's going to start going up for sure. It's all about timing. All this stuff, all this investing stuff and what to buy and when, it's all about timing. all of it. I'll never say anything bad about gold and silver, because if you're looking to retain wealth and you hold it physically, I mean, it's not going to drop by 50% like any day or something. Like it's consistently money. Whereas paper money, like you could worry about the next day you wake up, is your currency going to start hyperinflating, and then within a week you could be wiping your butt with $100 bills. Like nobody knows. It just depends on how crazy governments get. You're going to go bankrupt from Bitcoin. I'm not going to go bankrupt from Bitcoin because I'm not going to invest more than I can afford to lose. I'm not that confident in it. Actually, one of the main reasons I'm not in it is I have major reservations with the new technology, not because of what it does, but because of the security issues and the fact that if somebody gets a hold of your Bitcoin information or there's hacking, I mean, your money disappears just like that. So for me personally, I don't have the risk appetite for Bitcoin to put a significant amount of money in it. Whereas if I woke up the next day and it was all gone, like my life would be ruined, I probably would never, I would probably never put more than 10% of my net worth in Bitcoin. And that's probably on the high end. I probably wouldn't even do that. So we're just talking an amount that I could deal with losing. And if I lose money, then it's not the end of the world. If I make some money on it, then woohoo. Darren Reed, in time, both gold and silver will be worthless. Just saying. I'm actually curious to see like what your exact view is on that, because I do find it interesting. I think they will always have like a value. Like what that value is, I'm not sure. But I always thought the gold and silver would retain their value well. Now, I'm curious to see in the age of cryptocurrencies, gold and silver's kind of stayed flat to lower. And I think some of that, some of the turmoil in various countries around the world resulted in people using gold and silver as a safe haven against inflation. But now that Bitcoin is around and all these cryptocurrencies, some of this, let's say, crisis money is actually being funneled into the cryptocurrencies, whereas more traditionally in the past, it was funneled into gold and silver. So I think the future has yet to tell really what future gold and silver have in our current economic climate. It's definitely a discussion to be had. I wouldn't say anybody that says gold and silver is going to be worthless. I don't know. Worthless isn't. I mean, worthless means like toilet paper, right? So I don't believe it'll be worthless, but could it be worth less? Yeah, it could definitely go down for sure. Not my kind of roller coaster, but I wouldn't underestimate JD. That's funny. Whether I make a loss or a profit on it, I'll let you guys know. But I know what my plans are, and if it works out, I'll share I'll share the info with my subscribers anyway, just in case anybody else wants to follow my plan. I'm definitely not a financial advisor, and people can do it at their own risk. But if the right opportunity that I've been waiting for presents itself, I will do it. I should have been more prepped ahead of time. I actually would have put money in about a week ago if I could have got the money into the accounts that I use in time. But I couldn't because I've just started to set up how I want to do that. And if I would have done that, I probably actually would have flipped it when it was $500 higher. So I would have made money had I done it last week, but now I waited and the prices are up a little bit again. And well, I was thinking about buying about roughly almost 2 Bitcoins worth. So if it went up $500 and I got out at say probably about $400 more $450 maybe. Just say 400, I would have made $800. So I mean, there's some major opportunity for flipping in the Bitcoin market, if you have the risk appetite for it, especially now that the price has kind of dropped. Like if you would have got in when it was like $15,000 and sat on it, you'd be in pretty sad shape right now. Like I said, I may hold a small position and not sell everything that I have once I start trading in it, just to see what it does long term. But I ain't planning on putting a significant amount of my money in it, just what I can. Don't forget about the pennies in the price of copper. That's skyrocketing like gold and silver is. Well, if copper ever goes nuts, I'll be ready. I got a lot of metal detecting copper, and I've got tons of copper pennies. I've never gotten rid of any of the pennies I found metal detecting, so I probably have a good 100 pounds of copper just randomly lying around all over the place. Well, probably not that much, but I got a lot of copper. I got a metal detector for Christmas, and I found an 1888 seated Liberty dime in the back of my 70s house. Well, I wonder what used to be there. That is awesome. And you're going to find this pretty cool. But 1888 is the date of the first seated dime I ever found. And I found it in the landscaping at a Victorian house that was built in like the 1890s. And it was really strange. It was back in my days of doing more so cherry picking. I thought it was going to be a modern dime. It was literally these people's landscaping where the soil was kind of raised up and there was a bunch of river rocks, right? And then all their landscaping was dead. So I was actually looking in their landscaping with my metal detector. And I got a signal. It sounded like a dime. It's like, I don't know if they churned it up while they were doing the landscaping at some point, but it was an 1888 seated dime, like a half-inch down under the soil. I still remember that clear as day. Gold and silver will only grow with yeah, I missed it. The chat. Let's see. Where was that comment I was at? It is best to hold what you own. Bitcoin is something worth checking out, but way too risky. Give me some copper, aluminum, silver, and nickel. That gold stuff is ugly, and the thugs really like it. Yeah. Yeah, if you have a basement full of copper, I can't picture any thieves trying to haul that out. And I mean, like people that like burglars who are actually looking for valuables, they're not gonna like be hauling out like 100-pound thing of copper. Like, yeah, there's petty crime where people are just trying to cash it in to get their next drug fix. But I guess in that instance, you're talking about sophisticated crime. They ain't gonna touch the stuff. They want your gold and silver jewelry and stuff like that. Cryptocurrency will drop out of limelight. It kind of to an extent already has. That's what I'm saying. It actually has a lot of support. So the question I had is how far is it going to drop? I don't think it's going to drop to levels like early 2017 levels. I don't even think it'll go that low. It could go as low as mid 2017 levels, but could it go down to $4,000, $5,000? I mean, it could definitely go down to $5,000 if there was another sell-off. But I mean, I think we're getting pretty close to the bottom, and that's just my opinion. I'm not even saying that I'm certain that I'm right. I just from watching it carefully and how it reacts to crisis and how it reacts as it becomes less popular, like what does the core community value it at? What is the future of it? Who's investing in it? Does it actually have legs on it at these higher prices, even if another 20% of the eyeballs do leave it? So there's a lot of angles to look at it. And I've got this feeling that it can drop to $5,000, sure. But I think around this $5,800 level, I pretty much think that that's the current valuation. Now that could be the valuation today, and then something major can happen to make it be worth significantly more, or somewhat less, next week. We don't know. There's a lot of things that happen. But I'm saying, like, today, if you could buy it on today's current climate with what we know, what's in the news, if you could buy it at around $5,800, I think you're going to make some money on it. Like I said, take that as a grain of salt. That's just my opinion. But probably going to hop in here on it shortly. Just keeping an eyeball on it for now. Mining stocks are great to buy now too. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of different stocks that are good to buy in that. I just avoid stocks. Obviously, some people can make a lot of money doing it, but stocks can change so fast. Stocks are more inflated right now, and if there's a mass sell-off and there's an economic crash, the stocks are going to get hammered. The way I look at stocks, but yeah, there's specific ones that can definitely go way up, but stocks in general right now, I believe there's more downside potential than up. And as an investor, I'm not a bubble-oriented Wall Street person. Like, I don't get involved in all the stuff that most of the bankers do. I avoid that stuff like a plague. I'm not into that type of thing. I don't even want to make money off of those type of stocks and all those big corporate conglomerates and stuff like that. It's not my world. Not my world. I tried doing that for a while. I hated it. And I was a different person 5 years ago too. Jeff is back. Hey, yeah, Jeff, you missed some good conversation. We went from more metal to, we did a lot of treasure hunting, chatting, and then we've had a pretty good discussion going on here now that the chat slowed a little bit. We had a pretty good discussion about Bitcoin, gold, silver, copper. We've been talking about all the different metals and investing. And it's been going pretty good. And it's got me excited to talk about it too, because this is something I've actually been wanting to discuss for a while. I was telling everyone I may do some videos here on Bitcoin soon because I've been watching it for a while and I may be jumping in on that market. So let's see what else we got going on here. Super Doggy, Ezekiel 7:19, they will cast their silver and gold into the street. Yeah, at the end of the age, it ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna matter. You are absolutely correct. I'm on board with you. Okay. Seed to grow food, a solar panel to charge batteries. Yeah, I've been kind of putting it off, but I have wanted to get into more. We just got some thunder outside. Kind of like the moving into the farmhouse was a big change. So I have more, let's say, less things to worry about in an event that things go sour fast. But I'm not as prepared as I could be. So I need to work on that some. But yeah, having your own food sources is huge for sure. JD has clearly never been to Detroit. Never been there personally, but I've watched a lot of documentaries and stuff on it, and it doesn't look like a place I'd want to be. Why do you mention that I've clearly never been there? Something to do with the investments or something? I know what policies and things can do. It can completely decimate cities, nations. I'm into all that stuff. Like, I know. So I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. Let's see. Chat keeps jumping on me when I'm trying to scroll through it. I've also been here too long too. I said I'm not gonna be here much longer. Like it about 40 minutes ago, and here I still am. I should have a lot of energy today. I wasn't doing a whole lot, and I just decided to get on here, and we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes now. Let's see. Rob Stewart, I just gave a walker away and now I have another. Got it metal detecting. Sweet. Big silver. Been a lot of people finding big silver coins on YouTube recently. It's been kind of exciting. That Ethereum sure is bottoming out too, under $300 now. I know that's crazy, but yeah, those alternative cryptocurrencies got majorly they turned into bubbles there for a while. I don't know what the actual valuation of those are, but we got to be getting close to the bottom on those. I'm glad I didn't listen. I talked to some people that were really pushing Ethereum late last year when it was like around $700-800. I didn't touch it, and I'm glad I didn't. It's Bitcoin's definitely outperforming the altcoins right now. So it's interesting to see that the big dog is holding strong, and all the ones nipping at its heels they got to show their stuff. They got to show that they have something behind them to actually give them lasting valuation and future value. It's a race for the altcoin race. It's a battle. Let's put it that way. It is a battle there to see which company can outperform all the other ones. But man, they've really got hammered over the last month. I really haven't watched a whole lot up until the last month and a half, other than since the price started going up last year. I started really watching it back again when it got up to like 8,000. I watched it the whole way from 8,000 to 19,000. And since then, I've just been checking. I was checking in on it like once every week or so just to get an idea. But as an investor, I'm getting ready to hop in now because I was just scared of how far it would settle. And I'm glad I waited, because if I would have got in at 10 grand, I mean, I'd be hurting right now as far as profits go. I found a $1 star note. Sweet. Good finds. Star notes are always fun to find. What pinpointer do I use? I generally use the Nocta RS pinpointer. I really like that one. And I kind of use my a White's TRX as a backup. I'm not a huge fan of the White TRX because I don't want to say it's finicky. I can't really explain it. It is a little more, I don't know, it's just a little more frustrating to use. It's like if you try to set it on the ground next to your hole, it never stops beeping, then you got to push the button. The sound of it just doesn't, I don't like it as much. But it's good for a backup, and I'll use it once in a while, just for the sake of it. But I really like the Nocta pinpointers. I was really surprised when I started using them. It's actually my favorite one, the Nocta RS pinpointer. Jeff said, gotta hunt the hood to find the good stuff. Yeah, that's where a lot of good stuff is. Did you collect coins before you started metal detecting? I've done some videos and talked about this randomly throughout the channel, but absolutely, that's kind of what got me into metal detecting. I started collecting coins when I was 12. Collected them really hard for a couple of years. And then eventually made a business out of buying and selling numismatic materials like coins and paper money and stuff like that. So yeah, I started collecting coins well before I started metal detecting seriously. So that's kind of how I knew a lot about coins when I started metal detecting. Like a lot of people were surprised, like I was giving like coin tutorials, like when I was digging up coins metal detecting. So I kind of just got known as the coin guy on YouTube. And then I had that penny video that got it's up to like 13 million views now. So no matter what way I come around YouTube, I just always end up being known as like the coin guy. I can't escape it. Like it's just something about it. I don't know. It's just really resonated with people. I'm the coin guy. Have I ever found a wooden nickel? No, I haven't, because I don't have my metal detector set on wood. Janie said, I'm bored here. Yeah, I'm a pretty boring guy. I don't know what to tell you. You better go. You end up 4 hours into. you talking about the live stream? All right, Mike's taken out. Taken it out. I didn't organize a hit on him. I promise. He's taking off. I didn't take him out. Okay, see you, Mike. I'm glad you stopped in. My friend sold all his Bitcoin last week. There's been some pressure on it. A lot of people are selling. I think, from what I noticed too, we're getting into about the 1 year point from when prices really started to skyrocket. So I think we're going to see a lot of the people that went for the 1 year type investments be like, it's not performing, time to go. I think as we reach that 1 year point, there's going to be a lot of people losing patience. There has been a lot of pressure on selling it this summer. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm just trying to analyze and determine where the bottom is. And I think that somewhere around 5,800 is the bottom based on the information I've seen. And I'm not saying it can't go lower, but I think it has more upward than downward potential. Like say it dropped to exactly $6,000. I think at that point, it's more likely to go up to 7,000 than it is to drop to 5,000. So sometimes when you're a value investor like myself, the goal isn't to be afraid that you can lose some money. It's to find something that has more upward potential than downward. And if you do that and make the right decisions over time, then you just make more decisions than bad ones. So even if you lose money in the long run, you still gain money. So it's all about calculated risk. We both think it's dangerous. It is. It's high risk. I mean, it's digital, and we live in the age of hackers. It's uncharted territory. It obviously has, I think, a lot of potential as far as what the technology can do as far as making other means of trade obsolete. But yes, there's absolutely a lot of questions, and it's really dangerous. It's not a safe investment. Like gold and silver are much more stable. They've been around for ages. Yeah, so yeah, it's dangerous. I'm not saying it's not dangerous, but it kind of just goes along with the mindset of high risk, high reward. If you cannot afford to lose money, then it's probably not the market for you, because it wouldn't be surprised me if there's some major event, some major hacking event, or some major thing where the government intervenes and tries to limit it, like we've seen in a lot of countries. I mean, it could drop $1,000 in a day. I mean, look, it came down from 19,000, but where is the bottom? I mean, I can't see Bitcoin ever going back down to $1,000 just from the sheer amount of eyeballs on it now, and the fact that the world we live in is technologically driven. So I think it's going to have a place into the future. And if it's not Bitcoin, it's going to be some other type of coin. So I think this is a long-term market that's not going anywhere. But yes, it's absolutely high risk, and it's absolutely dangerous, which once again is why I wouldn't put a lot of money into it, or more than you can afford to lose. It's not like I wouldn't have any problem. Like if I wanted to preserve a lot of money, I wouldn't, like if I had to take 30% of the money I have and had to put it somewhere and not touch it for 2 years, I would do like gold or something, because it's probably not going to fluctuate a whole lot. Or hopefully go up, but it wouldn't be Bitcoin. If I had to put money in something and not touch it, and I wanted to secure it and not worry about it, Bitcoin would not be that thing. It would definitely not be that thing. And then kind of what it is, if you're able to build up a profit, then you can kind of use your profits to toy around with it to try to increase them. And then, it's almost like a kind of like an old gambling concept. I hate to use that because I'm not like a gambler, but like you use your profits as kind of like your guinea pig. So if you lose them, it's not a big deal because you're really not technically losing anything. So if you're able to make the right moves going in, then you have that wiggle room and that extra profit to play with, and hopefully increase it. Let's see. We believe they are manipulating the market. Yeah, I mean, all markets are manipulated. It's just how the question is how badly. Everything is manipulated. Absolutely. I'm not arguing with you there. I'm right on board with that. It's just that who's doing the manipulating, why, when. Like I said, it all comes down to timing. You just got to be on the right end of you got to be on the right end of the manipulation. Have you ever been to Cache County, Utah to metal detect? I've never metal detected in Utah or anywhere out west for that matter. I missed this one. Jeff said, when you do your hunting for food episodes, do you skip most penny signals? No, I dig it all. I dig it all. It makes a better video. I'm just going for whatever coins I can find. And if you start cherry picking and you don't find enough money, you're going to be thinking about, man, all them penny and dime signals I skipped. Man, I could have had a burger and now I'm starving. You got to take what you can get. Take it all. Can you show us your feet, please? Thanks. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Do you have a foot fetish? Why do you want to see my feet so bad? I don't know about that. This generation of coin collectors is diggers. Old school collectors are a rare breed. Do you agree, JD? Yes, but that's actually changing. There is actually a big community of coin collectors growing on YouTube. There's a lot of people coming back into coin collecting, and let's put it this way. I saw it was starting to build. It was really starting to build in 2017. Before that, I was kind of oblivious to it, but I think there was just something naturally happening where people were starting to really take an interest in it. Maybe because it was from YouTube videos. I don't know, because there has been coin roll hunting and stuff like that around on YouTube. It wasn't really common going back even 3-4 years ago. I mean, you have Hidden Treasure Hunter, who probably was the largest collector posting videos back in the day, who focused on the collecting part. And unfortunately, he passed away due to cancer. But kind of around then, you kind of saw that people were taking a liking to it. And then I saw it was starting to get really popular in 2017. And I don't know what it is. For some reason, it was like me. It was the right time and the right place. And the coin tutorials I started to do, and my channel was already going through momentum. So like when my penny tutorial video went massively viral and got picked up by news sources and got shared a ridiculous amount of times, it like thrusted coin collecting like into like a noticeable spot in the YouTube algorithm. So there was a lot of coin collectors that started building their channels fast based on the momentum of the video that I had going viral. So when my video went viral in December of 2016, I meant 2016 when I was talking about this, not 2017. I noticed in 2016 it was getting popular. And when my video was super, super hot, there, like all the coin channels that started coming onto the scene started building subscription bases really, really fast, just based on the fact, not solely based on the fact, but in part based on the fact that my videos were being so successful. So since there wasn't a lot of people making that type of content, it was easy for people to get onto the sidebar and get views off of the trend that I had sort of amplified. And it's just gotten a lot bigger since then. And there's kind of been a community that's come out of a lot of this, especially since 2016. It started to build a little bit before that. Like I said, there were channels out there focusing on collecting. Not a lot of them. There were a few out there, not a lot of them with over 10,000 subscriptions. Most of the coin channels have just really started getting big over the last couple of years. So it's interesting. But yes, I would say 2 years ago, most anything coin related or coin collectors were based on diggers and stuff like that. But it's really changing right now. There's a new wave of collectors coming in. that don't have any interest or very little interest in metal detecting. They're only doing it for the coins. So I kind of see where you were coming with that, and I agree with for the most part, but it does seem like it's changing. And I think it's the fact that as it gets more popular on YouTube, a lot of young people can get into it. They can just get coins from their parents, their grandparents, and they can look through them. We're just finding that appeal getting back into the younger generation, whereas when I got into it originally, and then like in the 90s and 2000s, it was a dying hobby. Like I would go to a coin show and 85% of the people there were probably like 50 and over, or at least 40 and over. I mean, it was a dying hobby back when I started into it when I was 12 years old. It was actually kind of weird going to these coin meetings, and like half the people there were 50 plus. It was a little strange because there was like nobody there my age and maybe a few kids that were younger than me. So I don't know. Still got 70 people here, 138 likes. Smash that like button if you're still here and you haven't already. If you smash it twice, you'll unlike it. You don't want to do that. Hey JD, how's it going, buddy? Just getting here. Hope all is well with you and your channel. I appreciate that. I've been here for like 2.5 hours, so I'm probably not going to be here much longer, but I'm glad you could stop in. Oh, cool. Jeff got out on a video with Quarter Hoarder. I'm definitely going to watch that. That'll be fun. Let's see. Yeah, Jeff's watching my video in bed. My videos are so good, Jeff just can't go to bed. You just got to keep watching JD's Variety channel. I'm an old man, has nothing to do but yard work, so I hide from the wife and watch videos. There you go. There you go. Glad you spent some time talking about my coin collecting question. Yeah, no problem. Trying to take the questions the best I can. We had some good chat tonight. We got into a lot of different topics, but we stayed treasure hunting based tonight. We didn't go off on any political discussions or the things that seem to scare people off, or topics about religion. Man, we really went into some of it on the last couple live streams. As soon as you start that, everybody watching, just people start leaving. But hey, I'm all for talking about anything I like to discuss. How are you going to learn if you can't discuss things with other people? I just go for it. If you disagree with me, let's talk about it, right? Sing me to sleep. Okay, maybe we'll do a song before I sign out. And then everybody that's watching from in bed, anybody that's around them is going to be hearing their phone go off like, what are you watching? It's like, oh, JD singing. Yeah, weird. I'll have to do that just to, I like to troll people. I know I got this mean streak in me. I used to do some goofy videos. I like to troll people. I just really like to do it. It's just too fun. I am a joker, and a lot of people don't get that because sometimes I'm extremely serious, but sometimes I'm like, I'm just like playing it up. And I know it's probably not a good thing, but sometimes I confuse the heck out of people with my channel, but I don't really care. I don't really care anymore. Right. Can we get you to do a day in the life of JD? I mean, I know this is kind of funny, but the person I describe about this, who did a video on this that I remember watching, is I know a lot of people asked Deep Digger Dan that, and he said, I can't really vlog consistently because I live in the Danavan and I don't do much, and his life's very like simple. Like, if I did a day in the life of, it wouldn't be accurate because I'm either working on my business and doing like YouTube stuff, or like exercising, or just doing some basic stuff and like running around doing errands. And I'm doing that on like some of what you would call my normal days, or I just get the few days off and I'll go on trips. So there's really no consistency. And if I did just one of the days where I wake up, there's really like nothing, there's nothing to show that you could really make a video out of. Or maybe I could do one, but after that it would just be boring and repetitive. So probably not on that. I used to squeeze in some vlog style videos in between the treasure hunting, but I don't really have a passion for doing it. So like for me, my videos are either treasure hunting themed or like discussion based or something like that. Like all the other little stuff, I'll throw some things in here and there, but that's just not my thing. I'm not like some like person, like a vlogger that every day they're like YouTube is their life vlogging, and then their life is whatever crazy thing they're doing that day. That's not me. So for me to show a day in the life of me, it wouldn't even be real, because if I did one of me being real, it would be me getting up, doing some stuff on the computer, like maybe having lunch, going to the post office and like doing some exercise, and like it wouldn't be anything crazy. All right. D Almighty plus JD. Well, I could reach out to him. It's possible. Anything's possible. That would be cool. Man, his channel, he's just gone completely, it's just gone completely mad. The excitement that is poured into his channel. I mean, that is crazy. He's over 5 million subscriptions. It is insane. What's your oldest banknote? I don't know. I think I have one from the 1930s. I think so. That's probably my oldest one. I think I have a 1934 $10 bill, something like that. JD, what do you know about slave tags? I don't really know much about them because I've never found one. I don't really generally hunt areas that are old enough to find them. I have, but I've never actually found one. The type of tags I normally dig up are like coal miners tags or stuff like that, stuff that isn't as old as back in the days where slaves had tags on them. So I really don't know much about them. Yeah, did I already tell you before? Yeah, Deep South Digger, send me an email, and if I get down there, I'll definitely meet up with you. Because I mean, I've been, it's kind of in the other side, but in the Amethyst mine that I go to in Georgia, which is closed down currently, but it's in the east part of Georgia. But I may make it out your way sometime. So just send me an email, and I'll let you know if I head down there. Gary said, but that's your life and that's what I want to see. Okay, well, maybe I will. I did a couple vlogs in 2017. If you look through my old videos, you can find a few of them. But maybe I will. But I don't know. I almost feel like I would just try to make the day more exciting just for the fact that I was doing a vlog. Like, I don't even know if it would be accurate, because I'm not just going to make a video. It's like, here's me sitting at the computer, and then here's me going to the post office, and then here's me walking around a track exercising, and I can't really film if I'm playing basketball or something, and here's me eating. Like, I don't know. It's kind of strange to me. Like, if I can squeeze it in a more entertaining video that has a point, I can squeeze more vlog stuff in. So maybe that's the way to go about it. So I don't know. I'm just not going to do a day in the life of me. Like, it's probably not going to do it. Oh, and somebody just asked, as I was talking about, do you have any more plans to do more crystal hunting? Yes, I do. The mine I normally go to is closed down right now, and they're not going to be opening up. They're not planning to until next year. There's a couple other things that I might want to get into, but for the hard rock mining, it's a steep learning curve, and I just don't know if I have wanted to go in that direction yet with my free time. She geographically, I'm actually in a decent area for minerals and stuff like that, just because of the formation of the Appalachian Mountains. So we'll see. We'll see. At least want to do more Amethyst videos in the future, but I may branch out from that a little bit. Do you like Alex Jones? Well, if you watch the video that I did on that, I'm not a big fan of him, but that has nothing to do with I don't believe that he should have been targeted. I mean, I'm not into sensationalism, so he's when you talk a lot, I mean, he's gonna be like, I agree with some of the points of view, but obviously a lot of the things he says is off the deep end. So I'm just not a fan of the style. Anything that's that sensationalized or polarized, I'm just not a big fan of, because it's my personal feeling that in the end, that type of thing, it's like, it solidifies the audience you have, but it's not very efficient as far as bridging the gap to reach people that don't have your point of view. So I don't look at it as, let's say, significantly productive, even if he is right about certain things. So I'm not a fan of his style. But apart from that, I don't think he should have been banned. He's the type of person that I would maybe check up on or see what was going on with them like once a month or something, or if there was a lot of controversy going on about a specific topic, I might see what their take is and what they were talking about. But I mean, I wasn't like a frequent watcher or anything like that. I think he's the type of dominant personality that I think a lot of people did that. I think a lot of people just kind of just checked up on him to see what the heck was going on, because it was such a crazy thing a lot of the time. So I hope that kind of makes sense. All right. Jeff said, click the link in your FB Messenger now. Are you talking to me, Jeff? Well, I almost feel like you're up to something. Why are you telling me to click the link now? Yes. I don't know. I know you're a jokester too. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Hold on. Oh, shoot. I forgot. I'm set up. I don't have my Facebook. I don't have it logged in and set up here on this computer I'm using right now, because I just started using this other office and I haven't used Facebook here. I don't know if I know all my info right now. May not be able to do it right now here. I don't want to get too far away from the chat. Alrighty. He's trying to warn you about the spider on the wall next to you. You mean that big shadow? Really enjoy your channel. Thanks for doing it. Yours is the first live chats I've ever gone into. Interesting topics. Good night. Thank you, Robin, and good night. Do you respond to fan Facebook messages? Man, I've been debating deleting my Facebook account. I absolutely hate Facebook, and I'm not just like saying that in a political sense. Yeah, but I obviously kind of hate them in a sense as a company, but I just hate Facebook, period. Like I think they try to make it deliberately confusing so that you're distracted in a million different places, like between all the different pages and groups and notifications. Like for someone with OCD, like Facebook is not a good place. I hate Facebook and I try to avoid it when all possible. I've just kept it because a lot of people communicate on it, but I rarely respond to Facebook messages, to be completely honest. I've been thinking about making a Twitter account. I actually already have one. I just don't use it so that I can more focus on just giving people quick updates and stuff like that, and then tweeting at other people. So I may just dump Facebook and start with Twitter. Maybe do a Snapchat. I just kind of avoided that stuff because I just focus on YouTube mostly for the computer stuff. Do it later, I guess. I don't know what you're up to, Jeff. I have a feeling like I got my speakers on. If it's like this type of video or something, it's like it's gonna be blasted on the live stream. You're too sneaky. What do you think of Mr. Beast? I don't want to go really into that right now. I mean, just because he's gotten a big YouTube channel. I described some of that one of my last live streams a little bit. Yeah, everybody seems to hate Facebook. Well, I guess I'm not alone. I think that's growing. I think a lot of people are starting to really hate Facebook. Here in Middletown, Ohio, there are 2 closed old amusement parks that opened in the 1920s-ish. That's pretty interesting. They're actually, in Pennsylvania, there's a lot of abandoned amusement parks because it was the industrial capital of the world and some of the major cities there back in the early 1900s. So they had a lot of wealth that evaporated very quickly. I didn't learn it until I really started getting into metal detecting, but the town that I used to live in, used to be so big that there was like 3 amusement parks that were wiped out, mostly around the Great Depression and some after. So, yeah, if you can find out where there's old abandoned amusement parks that have like maybe been tore out but not developed over, or there's areas where people had foot traffic through to get there, I'm sure you could find a lot of places where there's a lot of old stuff. Especially if you're in the Northeast, there's a lot of amusement parks that have come and gone over the years for sure. And one of the old things I'm fascinated with is if you look on a lot of old maps, you'll find the old horse racing tracks. And what they did with a lot of the old horse racing tracks is after they stopped having races there, the people who owned the properties would eventually sell them off to developers. So if you're ever looking at Google Maps and you ever see in an old neighborhood where there's a street that's kind of like a long oval shape, look into it, because some of those streets actually used to be racetracks, and then developers would come in and they would build like little bungalows all around like the tracks. And there's whole entire neighborhoods like from the 1930s and 1940s that are built inside of old horse racing tracks, which is really fascinating to me. And I found a lot of them over the years. There's one around where I used to live. I found 2 or 3 of them here in Tennessee. Now, most of the time they're developed over to the point where you wouldn't find things that were dropped from the racetracks. But if you get in the open areas, like in the backyards of these houses, there may be some of these areas that still have old coins and stuff like that from these, they're basically gambling arenas. These were places where people were gambling and betting on horses. So, yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there. If you ever see a big oval on a map that's like kind of got houses going around it in a circle, you can tell because they built them going around the oval, and you can't miss them when you see one on the map. All the houses are built literally directly into it so that they're all facing out toward the street, and it had to be an old horse racing track. Not always, because sometimes there's just funny developments. But even if you see an oval on a map, if there's not like houses inside it, or there's just a few sporadically, it's probably was in a racetrack. But if you see there's houses lined up in it and they're all facing outward toward the street and it's a perfect oval, it's like a dead giveaway that it used to be an old horse racing track. and sometimes you just have to look at the name of the streets too. Some of them will be named like they'll have a piece of the history of how it used to be a horse racing track, like built into the street. Like I think I'm trying to think of one of them would be called, I don't know if it's called like Racing Street or like, like track something, it's sometimes there's a giveaway. I think one of them was called that I found, it was called like Speedway Circle or something. I don't know. Or no, that was a different one. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool when you can find them like that. I'll have to show in one of my videos and find one that I found on a map before. All right. Who's for freedom and liberty? I definitely am, for sure. A lot of craziness going on in our world. Horseshoe Bend. That's Horseshoe Bend's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, right? I used to live an hour away from there when I was in Pennsylvania. I've been out there a few times. Come on, Barry. JD's only got one channel. Yeah, right. Hey, I have no problem talking about other topics. I just don't want to take the chat in that direction here tonight. But I'm planning on branching out into more videos, just having discussion-based videos on different topics and stuff like that. I have no issue with it. I've already come to accept the fact that certain things just people aren't going to be around. Because I mean, YouTube, it's a market. And in order to grow a channel like huge, I mean, generally it's going to be entertainment based, and it's like an alternative Hollywood. I mean, if you give in to the constant frenzy and the constant entertainment driven market end of it, then I mean, if I start talking about things that aren't good for the growth of the channel, like I've made the decision that I just want to do kind of what's good for me as a person and just have open discussion and stuff like that, because I can't follow that corporate entertainment model. It's just not who I am. It's miserable to me. And I'll do a lot of treasure hunting videos and do a lot of exciting things in between, but I just like living, and I don't like anyone telling me what I can and cannot do. And that's sort of, I think, the best place to be when you don't self-censor yourself. So I mean, I'll definitely do serious videos, and I do things in as polite of a manner as possible. I don't tell people what to do, how to do it, and it's crazy that we live in a world that is so polarized that if you just think differently than someone else, you can be hated. And I think we're headed in some really dangerous territory. And I noticed a lot that in our in our society, especially increasingly over the last few years, that people will disassociate with you based on just some basic beliefs. So if I have a YouTube channel and then all of a sudden people find out I have a certain point of view, or like I, think of this a certain way, if that's going to cause like 10% of the people to leave, then, they're people that I just can't relate to anyway. So why would I try to keep those viewers on the channel for the next 10 years? I'm eventually going to say something that's a reflection of me, whether it's just interjected into a random video or something. So I've just made the decision that if it hurts my pocketbook, then so what? I'm just gonna live free, live open. And it's sometimes those discussion type videos, when I'm trying to be polite but honest, that other people from the comments I'm getting, they're able to really get something out of it sometimes, and it's able to either reach them or challenge their thoughts on it. And if somebody disagrees with me, they can leave a comment and I read them, and I try hard that if I don't understand someone else or understand their point of view, that I try as hard as I can to grasp it, because I don't think I'm right about everything. And that's what I think is a very healthy way to go into every conversation, is that the other person talking to you, there's something there that you can learn, and that you keep coming up against the people in life that you agree with or disagree with. And no matter who it is, you can learn something from to to grow and learn yourself and be more accurate in your knowledge and your understanding of things. And if somebody has a hard time palating an honest discussion where there's no rudeness or force or anything being initiated, then I don't think I think that's an unreasonable stance. And I understand that some people only subscribe to channels because they do it for a certain topic or hobby, and they just don't want to listen to anything like this. And I understand that, but most of those people will just skip the chat videos and watch the exciting ones. But in our society, we're seeing people self-segregating because they may disagree with you on one point. And when people become that shallow, whereas they dislike you because of one point of view that's even politely presented, then that's a major problem, and I won't cater to that. That's kind of where I draw the line and say I won't allow people to silence me based on what do I want to say? Based on well thought out discussion. That's where I draw a line and say, if people say I shouldn't be doing that, that's where I draw the line and say, nope. I may concede on some points, but that's one I won't concede on. Oh, we just hit 3 hours. Okay. JD, love the way you think. Well, I'm glad you enjoy the chats. I'm a work in progress, and God's not finished with me yet. Let's put it that way. But I've been really striving over the last year or so here to really put myself in a position to put myself in positions where I have to learn and grow and understand and communicate better, because I think it's a very important thing. And I like to do that so that I can point other people in that direction, because I think we live in a world that's going on autopilot. And I'm not saying necessarily that people are bad or people are evil. There's definitely a lot of evil out there in the world, but kind of my path I described in a video a while back about sometimes we just are too self-interested, and I want to branch outside of that and do some more things that are, more useful and more lasting. And I hope that other people use that to just look at their own lives and say, there's some really major stuff going on in this world, and maybe I should reassess the way I look at things. I just want to get people to think. So when I do my chat videos, it's more about just open discussion and dialogue, and presenting things out there, no matter how unpopular they are to talk about. I've got a few ideas in mind, and probably post some of it within the next few days, but no promises. Jeff, did you move north of Asheville? Well, I'll just give everybody my P.O. box, and that gives away my city. My P.O. box, if anybody sends anything, it's JDVC, P.O. Box 3252, Blunttville, Tennessee 37617. That's my P.O. box. And that's the little hick town I live in. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been detecting 40 for your stuff I dig up is in Lost Treasure. I assume you mean the Lost Treasure magazine. If that's what you meant, that's pretty cool. I've never really done any magazine submissions, but yeah, it's really neat. I look through those once in a while. I get them because, like, sometimes when you buy a Detector or something, you get free subscriptions, and I've moved like 5 times. So I always send in one of the new free subscription cards every time I move. So I've had like a free subscription for like the last 4 years. May not be evil, but stupid and ignorant is common. I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing because you can only be stupid and ignorant for so long. Some of the stupid and ignorance is because you're evil, and sometimes you can only be stupid and ignorant for long enough before you become evil. Because if you really think about it, how long can you be stupid and ignorant and to a point where you become just sort of numb to any type of feeling whatsoever? So, I mean, I don't know. Kind of in that could go. I mean, that could go either way. But there's obviously, if you're just talking about, there is a general dumbing down, especially here in America. And I know Canada's kind of it definitely in this. I said kind of changed my mind. It's definitely in the same boat. That's why I wanted to do some videos on this. There's a lot of different reasonings for that. One of parts of my story and how I understood, because I've been analyzing ever since I was young, is more, it started when I was young, is more as a survival tactic. But I mean, kind of in the 90s when I grew up, when I was a lot younger, it was like it was kind of like a peak consumerism in the United States leading up to the crash. And I saw people's lives completely consumed by convenience and entertainment, and where this was all headed to the point where our society became extremely diluted and very quickly. And in my experience as a believer in Christ, about how it completely watered down the church and out of the, I'm not saying it started in the 90s. It could have, I mean, everything kind of happens in time periods, but it was one of those things that eventually the major focus on consumerism and all the sorts of things that come out of that is also sort of like a peak decadence and things that happen right before a society starts to crumble and decline. And also my point of view as being a believer in Christ, how through all of that age and through the 90s and the 2000s, how the sort of apostate church came out of that, and how people turned church basically into either on the small end, either social clubs, or a lot of them actually turned into cults. And I've had experiences kind of borderline on the two of things that have gone sour. So I mean, it's a huge topic, and the kind of the day and age that we live in with kind of mainstream media, it seems like everybody wants to take a topic and condense it down into a few words or like 2 minutes, when these concepts take hours, days, years to discuss properly. And the polarization in our society now, like it's always based on, pointing the finger at other people and that you're this and you're that. Oh, if you don't like people of different lifestyles, you're automatically a hater. And like everything in life is condensed down into a few buzzwords, a few labels that are put on people, and the lack of depth and discussion is completely demoralizing. And it's so learning and understanding, if you're not doing it, I mean, if you're not building yourself, this world's already falling in just to a technological pit, in a sense where all the younger generations come up. We live in the West and sort of like the self-raising generation, where parents really aren't raising their kids. They're just left to adopt whatever ideology they want to. And how I break that down is there's just it's some of it's through lack of leadership. A lot of kids are self-raised to the point where they don't have a lot of family interaction, or they don't have families at all, or they only have a single mother or a single father. And there's a lot of aspects to it, but kids are basically being raised by someone else or nobody in today's day and age. And there's lack of leadership in all sorts of areas of life. And I think the next generations coming up now are only going to exacerbate like all the problems that are already going on now. And I think we're going to be heading into some uncharted territory in the world we live in, and it's going to be very turbulent in the future. That's the way I look at things. And if you have a different viewpoint, I'd definitely look at some of the things you have to say. But I believe everything is pointing in that direction. And if somebody thinks that can be turned around just like that at the snap of a finger, I think it's more deep rooted than you can really put your finger on. So, all right. Did I lose anybody there? I really went off, but I kind of said some of the things that I think I made sense there. I kind of stayed to point. That's crazy. I stay in Bristol, Abington, and other towns all around you. We will have to hook up for a hunt. Sure, yeah. I mean, Bristol, yeah, I'm in Bristol all the time. Abington, I've been over there. So yeah, when you're over this way, um, we'll definitely have to meet up for sure. All right. Okay. JD, you have no moderators. Yeah, I don't have any because the way I have this set up, I can't add any. And yeah, I'll have to work on that in the future, especially since I don't do these at a specific time that's planned most of the time when I do the live streams. So um, if I set up live streams that at a specific scheduled time, I will set the live streams up a different way and appoint moderators, or at least that's the plan. Diana Parker said, sorry, but I need to leave. I believe in free speech, but some people just like to do hate speech. That's true. There's a lot of hate out there. I still believe people have the right to hate speech as long as it's not inciting violence. But yeah, it's very toxic and it's not a good thing. I'm definitely never would say it is. But I'm leaving here shortly, so you're not going to miss much, Diana. I'm probably going to sign out here in a minute or two. So we'll see you later. We will see you later. All right. Okay, if anybody has any last questions, maybe I'll just answer one more or something, but probably not going to go any more long discussions. We made it over 3 hours on this one. So, all right. Brian, I'm sorry, but I came in late. What's the topic, JD? We've talked about everything under the sun here tonight. We started on good discussions about metal detecting and treasure hunting, and then we went into investments in cryptocurrency, and then we went into some political and religious discussion. We made the rounds tonight. We made the rounds, but it all flowed pretty good. I've had the energy, and I need to just keep these live streams when I have the energy, so it seems to be more upbeat. But yeah, you'll have to watch the live stream back if you missed it, because we had some good discussion here tonight. I had a good time with everyone. And I appreciate everyone commenting and chiming in and smashing that like button. And for everyone who made a super chat tonight, we got 2 new people up on the wall tonight, which is awesome. And then we got a few regulars that pitched in as well. So that's always appreciated. Let's see. All right, we'll see you, Jeff. I'm heading out here in a couple minutes anyway, probably. So if you wake up tomorrow and I'm still here, you'll know I'm clinically insane. I found a 15D Wheatie about 30 minutes ago. Is that coin roll hunting or metal detecting? If that's coin roll hunting, that is a sweet find. Do you think we will dominate space as far as colonialism? As far as I am getting too tired. What's the word? Yeah, colonializing or whatever, inhabiting other planets and that. I don't think we're going to see, I mean, it could happen. I don't think we're going to really see it in our lifetime, maybe beginning stages of the attempts to do that. But it's my personal belief that the end of the age is close. There's less time ahead of us than there was behind us as a human race, and that we probably won't get that far. That is my opinion. The world is changing rapidly, and we will see what happens. I hope you do more digging videos. You're an entertaining young man. Absolutely. I do a lot of different stuff on the channel here, mixed in, like chats, discussions, coin roll hunts, all kinds of random stuff. But absolutely, treasure hunting is at the core of what I love to do. So as long as I'm on YouTube, I can't ever see myself not doing it. But just sometimes it's more sporadic than others. It's a lot slower in the summer, like right now, but sometimes I put up a lot of videos fast, and then sometimes you might not see one for a few weeks. But yeah, for anyone that's on the channel that likes treasure hunting, I mean, that's really ingrained inside me, so I can't ever see a point where I would completely stop doing it. So yeah, just wait for it. It's always on the way. Oh, it can do a 24-hour live stream. If I come up with a plan, maybe, and I don't know, maybe I can do it for a charity or something, or come up with a purpose for it. That way it's as rough. I ain't gonna be able to talk the whole time. I'd have to come up with some kind of idea. And I'd have to take some naps here, you know. Maybe pee in a bottle. No, I wouldn't do that. I put up a big sign here that says "Be right back," and then I just go use the bathroom. Michael Oliver meet soon? Maybe. If I make it to Australia, I mean, he's the first person I would probably meet up with. So we'll see where that goes. I know I'm pretty sure he might still be in Switzerland on vacation right now. He does some videos in Switzerland too. All right. So with that, I think I am going to get out of here now. It has been 3 hours, 16 minutes, and 8 seconds counting. So we've been here for quite a bit. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you for everyone who did a super chat, for everyone who just to put on the end of this. I guess I don't need to put any info on the end of it. Who's going to watch this back 3.5 hours that needs to know the info I'm about to say now? Probably no one. So there's really no need for an outro. I guess you just feel a need to put a cap on something when you're about to end it to say that it's over. But with that being said, I'm out, and we will see you guys soon. Oh, hold on. I knew somebody was going to do that. Somebody was going to do that. I said I will never leave when there's a super chat posted to the top. And we got one. It is Brian Sayers. And I don't think you're up on the wall. So you got me for another few minutes, you sneaky person. We are on purple. So you're going to get a purple sticky up on the wall. Not a purple sticky, a yellow sticky with purple ink. There's still 46 people in here. I should probably try to keep my streams on weekends when I'm not traveling. I wasn't traveling this weekend, so I decided to do a stream. And I've had the most people consistently in here this time. So it's probably a good idea for the future. There you go. Here's your sticky. Oh. Okay. All right. And chat seems to slow down. What's going on, JD? I am getting tired because I've been here for 3 hours and 20 minutes. Ever detect in Canada? Not yet. Not yet. Mostly the states surrounding Tennessee. I've been in Kentucky, Tennessee, where I live. I've metal detected in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia a little bit, and Pennsylvania, where I'm from. Never ventured out of Pennsylvania when I lived up there. So pretty much a lot of the states surrounding Tennessee and Pennsylvania, and that's the only areas I've metal detected so far. Except when I was really young, I did a beach in New Jersey once when my dad was at a conference and I went with him, but that was a one-time thing, and I just dug up a bunch of clad. Lots of loonies and toonies here. You guys don't have anything on Australia. Their $1 and $2 coins are small and thick, and people lose them easy. And I've seen people in like virgin areas where there's high foot traffic do like $200 plus clad days. I mean, I would love to be a clad hunter in Australia. And now I'm swinging my Sharpie at you guys. Great platform to sell your line of your JD clothing line. Yeah, I don't think we're going to start a JD clothing line and plug my merch every 5 seconds. I don't know, man. I'm just not that. I'm just like an old fart YouTuber. I'm not. I don't got that same type of enthusiasm or something. I think it's weird to sell branded clothing for yourself. I think it's just weird. I don't want fans that are like wearing things that like have, I don't know. I'm just weird like that. I found a spill today with 4 loonies. Man, that would have had to have been heavy in the pockets. Those things are pretty big. I'd love to find a $4 spill. Sometime come metal detecting in Kansas with us. Maybe. We'll see where I end up. I mean, I'm trying to keep in contact with a lot of people, like whatever area I go to, try to hook up with people that would, definitely want to meet up with me. And like I said, the best way to put the invite out there is to send me an email. That way I have the emails, and then whenever I head to a direction or an area, I can reach out to people. JD, do you have any merchants to sell? What do you mean by that exactly? I set up like something on eBay where you can just buy something like a banknote from me if you want to support the channel, but I haven't really linked to that. I only just do it like on request. I'm not always like trying to like monetize my videos in a sense where, apart from YouTube ads, I'm not always doing stuff unless I just do like a fun auction once in a while or something. But I might start in the live chats and like stuff like that, like giving links to, like, I have a Patreon account that's old, but I never really used it because I didn't like plugging it. But I may start putting in the live chat for people who really want to use it. So may do that. But yeah, I'm not into plugging stuff. Or if what I do is like I kind of do it tastefully. I like just do 10 videos in a row, or like sometimes even a month or more. When I first started, I didn't do any monetization on YouTube, so I can go like a month without ever doing anything. But then if I'm going to do a promotion or try to do something that's more monetization based for the channel, maybe keep it to one video. That way I'm not constantly bombarding people with stuff. But I've just been kind of lackadaisical with it right now. Just haven't really been pushing stuff. And I know people appreciate that too. I don't want to turn into a channel where I'm like a salesman or something. Shelly, I'm not going to repeat that, but yeah, you're funny. Everybody's getting funny now. JD's metal detecting hoodies. I don't know if it was cool with like a design on it and it was just like, I don't know, some kind of cool logo or something. I guess that would be kind of neat if anybody wanted to buy one. I just never liked the whole, I'm just not into the whole clothing merch thing. I just like, I'm the person, like, I won't buy somebody's clothing merch. Like, I just don't buy that kind of stuff. I'm not going to wear it because like you can get a ball cap, you can get a hoodie, you can get a t-shirt. It's like a lot of that stuff, like you never know if it's like going to fit right. It's like I'm not into the clothing type stuff. If I did anything, I'd actually get into selling like metal detectors or collectibles or something like that I kind of already do once in a while. But I'm just not into the clothing thing. I'm just not into it. Have you ever dug a watch fob? I've dug a bunch of them. I have at least a dozen of them. I've got a lot of them, a lot of old ones. The coolest one I found one for Hires root beer, an old root beer brand. That was fun. I found a couple cool ones. I just found a fob in that huge video I did at that old boarding school, a Cadillac fob. I found a lot of different watch fobs and fobs. I have an embroidery screen printing shop and can decorate your items. Hey, well, if you want to throw out an idea, that's pretty cool since you're doing that. If you want to send me an email, jdsvarietychannel@gmail.com, maybe we'll discuss it since you're in here and it's something you can do. I'll at least think about it. That way it's not like impersonal, like I'm going just through some random company or something. So I don't know, if you want to send me an email, I'll think about it. Do more Digger Star vids. Love them. And a lot of people really like those. I'm going to have to do another one. Because that just, I don't know. For some reason, that's just a concept that like caught on. And like people that aren't even like metal detecting started watching them and getting interested in my channel just because of those videos. Like that's what they want to see. So I'll have, by popular demand, I'll have to do more of those. Normally, once I start them, I start having fun. But man, you got to really be in the zone for it because I try to make it spontaneous and real for the video too. I try to do it like, I try not to really plan it out too much and just kind of do them spontaneously. So then it's like real. Life-size JD cutouts. You're funny. You're funny. The funny thing is corny people like myself would probably buy them just as a joke. It's like a novelty thing. It's like the worse the item gets, the more people buy it. So I might just come out with the dumbest, craziest, stupid, weird, goofy thing, and I'll probably sell out. That's what I got to do. Will detect. Hey everyone, I'm a bit late. You were very late. I've been here for 3.5 hours. I'm about ready to hit it. I almost left 10 minutes ago, and then somebody did a super chat. So I stayed until it expired. And then like I just started answering questions again, and here I am. But I'm leaving here soon. So stop talking, people. If you come to New York City ever, we got a collab. I'll send you my info. Sure. That way I have it, and then if I'm ever up there, I'll reach out. Can you do gold panning videos? Maybe if I travel and go to special areas. I'm not really into it as like a hobby for where I live. And in Tennessee, you can find fine gold like specks and stuff like that, but it's not like a really great area to prospect. You can prospect here, and I'm not saying you can't find gold, but it's mostly just like small flakes and stuff. And I don't really have the desire to get into getting all the equipment and going to the different areas, just to look for like flakes. Like if I want to go gold hunting, I want to go gold hunting, go all out in some amazing area. How did you get into the amethyst hunting? I was kind of interested in that sort of thing for a while, and I did started watching a few YouTube videos on it that I found really interesting, and found that like the kind of digs where you could go to that weren't like really strenuous and you could learn, and they were kind of more laid back, and that was kind of, I really did kind of branch into that from seeing some other people doing it on YouTube, and I really was something I really wanted to try. Like it wasn't just like I did it to make a video, like I was genuinely interested in it. There's so much to learn. there's so much more to learn through minerals and that sort of thing than there is metal detecting. Like even just scratching the surface of it is blowing my mind about how crazy and complex it is with all the different. I like until I started getting into it, like I can't even explain. I can't even explain it. Like really, it's just that crazy about how they form and all the different compounds. And it's like somewhere like I've got like a periodic table hung up on the wall, and I've been kind of learning that, and it like puts that to shame, like all the different conditions and minerals and gems and stuff. I want to start reading books about it because it's just so amazing. Ask Jeff Williams. He's a hoot. And also the crystal collector too. He probably has the best strictly gem hunting videos on YouTube because he's been doing it for a long time and he knows what he's talking about. I watched some of when I really started getting into it, I watched some of the crystal collectors videos because like I said, he knows what he's talking about, and his primary focus is like, gems and diamonds and stuff like that. So when you hit $500 on your super chat, will you eat a live worm for us? Maybe I can make some sort of incentive thing. That would be fun, or not fun for me. I don't know. Let's think about. I'll think about that for a while. So it'd become I'll make it like an abuse JD live stream. The more you pay, the more I abuse myself. Be eating worms and all kinds of crazy things. That might be fun. Not for me. Ever try magnet fishing? Watch back in the chat. But yeah, I have a magnet. I take it everywhere with me. I just don't have a lot of good places to do it. I did a couple videos last year on it early in the year. Yeah, I'm planning on doing the more amethyst hunting. The mine that I usually go to is closed down, and they don't open often anyway. It's kind of a big event. I might go to a few other mines around me, but most of them are hard rock mines, and it's a little tricky. I mean, you gotta work. You gotta bust your butt to, and you gotta know what you're doing too, and you gotta be, and you just don't find stuff all the time. So it's a lot of hard work. All right. Okay, I think I'm out of here. Unless somebody sends a super chat and keeps me hostage for another 5 minutes. So, yep, I think I'm out. I just want to say, once again, thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care.